Terry, look at these two.
Wow.
Break down
Now,
some
according to
play.
police, reportedly found a little meth, a little Xanax, a little oxycodone in the vehicle used by the duo. Now, as detailed in the Florida Highway Patrol report, officers on Wednesday afternoon spotted a white Nissan parked in front of the locked Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery with, quote, the windows down, no one in the immediate area. The cemetery has several dozen marked and unmarked graves dating back to 1850. Now, in 2021, cemetery was added to the National Register of Historic Places. Now, at the rear of the cemetery, investigators observed a white male and female engaged in sexual activity on top of an unknown grave number 43. Cops identified the alleged grave. They called them bobbers. You get that? Grave bobbers.
Yes, not robbers.
Joseph Brown, right there, 38 on the left, and Stephanie Wegman, 46. Both suspects live in separate residences. Here's where it gets interesting. Subsequent search of the Nissan, which is registered to Wegman and her husband, who, by the way, is not Brown, discovered meth on the passenger seat. Inside Wegman's purse, 2 prescription bottles with the labels missing that contained Xanax and oxycodone.
Did they know the person they were having sex on the gravesite?
Well, it says an unknown gravesite.
Oh, yeah. Unknown. Okay.
Yeah. But we do know that she
ever.
was having sex basically outside, probably inside of the Nissan, too, that was owned by her husband. That is not this dude.
Yeah, another guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say, well, first of all, she got locked up, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Once she gets out, there's probably going to be some papers awaiting her, wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah. What's that sweet tattoo she's got?
I was going to ask Tyler if he could zoom in anymore to see.
Does it say Maggie?
We're going to lose it there. I think it's a
name that ends in IE.
Yeah.
Angie.
Angie is what it looks like.
Mangy?
Mangy?
Mangy, yeah.
She is mangy.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you spell mangy with an IE, but
Jamie?
Jamie, I don't
Janie?
know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, Jamie may be it, yeah.
It looks like that's a J over there,
Yeah,
but it
kinda.
could just be the
she
angle.
looks a little pissy, right?
Yeah, she could be upset.
They took her drugs.
I mean, he's kind of smiling.
He looks happy.
I'm with Tyler. He's not upset about
He
this.
looks like a Mr. Clean that might drop a duffel bag somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see
He's
that.
Mr. Clean you can't trust.
Yeah.
Mr. Clean that doesn't really get it that clean.
So we go from that to the California woman with the world's longest tongue, 3.8 inches, by the way. She showed off some of the tricks she can perform with her massive mouth muscle, including removing Jenga blocks.
Oh, my, that is a tongue. Holy.
Beth, I hear you calling.
Now, her
But I
name
can't
is
come
Chanel
home now.
Tapper, 34 years old, held the Guinness World Record for the longest tongue for a female since 2010. Her tongue measures 3.8 inches from the tip to her lips. She gets an array of reactions, as you can imagine. She went on to say, quote, honestly, the best reaction I could ever get when someone sees my tongue is screaming. I actually do like when people yell or scream in shock or horror sometimes.
That's exactly what I do.
That's probably my favorite one because it's funny to me because it's a dramatic response. Now, Tapper showed off some of the tricks, including the Jenga blocks, flipping plastic cups, and holding a spoon.
So she's done a lot of work with this tongue.
I mean, it is very Gene Simmons-like.
I could imagine if desired, you could get a tongue reduction.
I would think you could.
I mean, surely
you could cut off like an inch and a half on the end and round it out a little bit.
Yeah, round it out. Now, it's going to require stitches. You probably can't eat solid foods for a little while. That's a dead hit.
I am going to say the problem
on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store. Follow the Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round. presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We'll check in on some spring football camps at Auburn and Alabama that is almost done by the time we're done with basketball season now here in the area. So we'll go both to Tuscaloosa and down at Auburn, where Emily Grace McWhorter has been for both events. And you can check all of the coverage out at thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com constantly there. We'll get into some NFL news. 18 games is coming down that track, Brownie. I'll let you know when they're saying 18 games in the NFL regular season will happen. But let's start with the goings and comings of the Auburn Tigers off to the Final Four. The scene yesterday, the reverse Tiger walk, as they left campus yesterday right when our show was wrapping up, looked like this. Huge crowd at Auburn Arena, both inside the building and then out as they made their way. Just a huge crowd there to send Bruce Pearl and the crew off. Final Four again for the Tigers. Watch the arm being used there by Johni Broome.
The reach across handshake there, right? He is not going to risk it.
There you go. He's got the left hand there. Bruce working both arms as he works his way to the truck there.
I know it would stir a lot of fodder, but why not just go on and put that wing in a brace where he's not wanting to use it?
Well, LT, I would tell you just that's a good sign that it's not in a brace. I know you are doing it preventatively, but if they don't have it, preventatively shut down like you would in a walking boot,
I get that.
You're right, and I'm saying seeing that is a good sign for an Auburn fan.
Yeah, probably, but I'm just saying if he's going to be rolling Toomer's corner, if he's going to be doing Tiger walk, if he's going to be out high-fiving and stuff, don't even get excited and maybe use the wrong arm.
Your point is, a lot of times we see football guys in a walking boot just to protect their foot from getting stepped on. People overreact to it.
Go back when they used to go to class.
Yeah.
they would be in a walking boot
in class. And by the way, I would let Todd Golden think, damn, maybe he really is banged up. And maybe, Houck and Condon and those guys are like, this guy ain't even be close to 100%.
But remember, he is left-handed, right? So it's his right elbow we're talking about, right?
Yeah, but it's still.
Yeah, it's a big part of what.
But
rebounding. What he is. He's a double machine.
Yeah. Especially a guy on the inside. You can go after that a little bit, can't you?
Well, if you're Florida, you bang on that thing all game long, right?
Oh, I would. Yeah. Why would you not, right?
It's not a regular season game. You're out for blood here.
This is your last game of the year if you lose.
We'll see what happens there. But then on the other end of the flight to San Antonio, the Auburn Tigers are arriving in San Antonio. Same gear. Everybody's dressed the same.
Yep.
Not a long flight.
Didn't change on the plane, huh?
This is them actually getting on the plane to Montgomery, and then they jump over there. That from Auburn basketball. They started the season on a flight to Texas that had a little altercation. They had to turn the plane around and go back. No altercation yesterday, but everyone goes back to that moment for this team, that was such a team-building moment for the team. Because remember,
a fight on a plane?
Yeah, that
and normally a camp out,
That's right.
But really, they go back to that and how everybody doubted this team on that trip. Because remember, they turned the plane around and went back and kicked Houston's ass.
Oh, I thought we were.
Houston's in the Final Four.
That
was the fight.
Yeah.
Houston was going to probably whip their ass based on circumstances. We might have somebody transfer out.
Yeah.
Suspensions.
People kicked off the team.
Yeah. However Bruce and Steven handled it, they obviously handled it the right way.
Yeah. That's all this season. That seems like forever ago. And it wasn't they were going to play UTSA. They were going to play Houston.
Yeah.
And they beat Houston. And Houston's still playing. They're in the Final Four.
Do you remember the last time Auburn won a national championship in a sport that we care about?
Football?
2010, Cam Newton.
They were dealing with controversy, adversity. And that's still the greatest player. And Bo Jackson, as good as he was, Brown, season, Cam Newton.
No, he's right about that.
The one season.
Yeah.
I have never seen a season like that. Joe Burrow, you can make the argument. Johnny Manziel had a great season. Tebow had a great season. But that one season, Cam Newton single-handedly won a national championship. We've never seen that again, have we?
We have not. No. I can't remember a player to that level.
You rarely see it in basketball.
I really think if Pat Dye had leaned on Bo Jackson a little bit more, they could have done more with Bo Jackson.
So, or is that knocking Pat Dye down a peg or two?
Well, I don't want to knock a dead man down. He's not with us anymore.
Well,
it's true. He is not.
But
I don't think he could have made the argument against you for a long time, though.
I'm just saying that The wrong way Bo game. I mean, why are you running Bo the wrong way? You know, I mean, that was a mistake. Obviously,
was that on?
They used him
the
as
call,
deacon.
or was that on Bo?
I don't know who went the wrong way there, but I'm just saying that there were times that Bo Jackson was used as a decoy, and obviously that wasn't one of the plays. But there were times in his career that I think you could have given Bo Jackson the ball.
Just let me ask
10
you
more
guys
times,
this:
20 more times.
For next year's Auburn Tigers, if Hugh Freeze could have Bo in his prime
Cam
or
Newton.
Cam in his prime,
Newton, you don't even think twice.
Yeah.
Cam touches it every play.
Now, I do think Bo probably could run the quarterback position.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I guarantee he could throw it a lot better than we think. I mean, we remember the missile arm he had in the outfield.
No, there's no doubt.
I mean, the game has changed a little bit, but Derrick Henry was pretty important to Alabama's national championship run, and I think you would get more from Bo Jackson than you got from Derrick Henry.
Well, again, I hate to bring this guy up.
There's no way you would.
And I've said this guy's
for 2,200 yards.
I'm just saying, but if you gave Bo Jackson that many opportunities,
I've said this guy's name way too many times on the show, Taysom Hill.
yeah,
But if Taysom Hill is getting paid 8 figures plus every year to come in on these 3rd down, 4th down, short situations, can you imagine what Bo Jackson could really do?
yeah.
I think he would be better utilized probably not as a running back. I mean, a running back, 2-3 downs, but, I mean, he could do everything.
I can't remember Bo catching the ball much.
Yeah, I can't either.
Nah, they were running the wishbone.
But I remember
because it
him.
was
He could
so
cover a lot of
different.
ground in the outfield.
Yeah. But it was so different. Obviously, he had good hand-eye coordination. He was fantastic. He was an all-star in baseball, too. But in a Christian McCaffrey-type role, Bo Jackson could line up anywhere.
Yeah.
Line up anywhere. I love Cam Newton. I'm just here to defend Bo Jackson a little bit.
So I just brought up 2010, and you know I think you can look at a correlation there because there was a lot of adversity that team was able to overcome each and every week and continue to win. And then I also think, what was the other point I was going to make? Completely lost my train of thought.
It's okay. We went from the Final Four all the way
To Bo
back
Jackson.
to classic Bo Jackson.
to Virginia.
Talk.
Virginia losing as a 1 to a 16, a little bit different, but losing to Yale in the first round. You know, I think that this team had so much to prove coming back, not only in the regular season, but once they got to these mini tournaments each and every weekend to continue to advance, to get to San Antonio, and to finally cut down the nets for Bruce Pearl.
Taylor Korn is in San Antonio. Coverage starts there this afternoon. At Next Round Live, brought to you by our wonderful friends at Culver's there. If you want to jump on, welcome to Delicious, our friends at Culver's. Never frozen hamburger patties there. I get 2 patties on mine. You can get 3 on them if you want, and go with a single, however you want to do that. Don't forget the custard. So whatever you want into the custard, it is absolutely delicious. Closest one to us is Tattersall right off of 280. Got a good one just off I-459 Highway 150 near the Hoover Met. But wherever you have a Culver's, enjoy Culver's. They bring you part of our coverage of March Madness. Our friends at Culver's there. Welcome to Delicious. Speaking of Auburn basketball, they lose potentially almost everybody off of this team when this weekend is done. Weekend extended to Tuesday, hopefully for the Auburn fan base. So Stephen Pearl has said on this show, when the portal opened right after the SEC basketball tournament, he was constantly on the phone. Harvest came last night. The top scorer in the Big 12 from UCF picked Auburn last night. It's Keyshawn Hall, this guy right here. He picks Auburn over other schools. No, but in his course of his career, it looks like he's gone UNLV, George Mason, UCF, and now Auburn. But this guy was considered the number 1 forward in the portal. He's a 6'7" guy, can play on the wing, can play a little guard. He averaged 18.8 points per game last year for UCF in the Big 12. Houston's in the Big 12.
No, Big 12 is a really good conference. Yeah,
Baylor.
Yeah.
You don't need me to run through the Big
No,
12.
I'm well
Arizona,
aware of them,
Arizona
yeah.
State.
The only thing that would jump out, 4 schools in 4 years.
Well, you only need him.
That's I only need him 1 year.
I don't need him to be the best Auburn Tiger ever. I just need him to be the best Auburn Tiger for a year.
You know, it goes from UNLV to George Mason to UCF, now to Auburn, but he's gotten better each and every year.
Yeah, so a big get there. Obviously, Alabama and Auburn will be very busy in the portal coming up, but Auburn got a big one last night. That's an impact guy for the Auburn Tigers. All right.
And by the way, his last game out, 25 against Kansas.
Yeah, 25 against Kansas.
He scored 40 against Arizona State earlier this year.
I'm not going to pretend like I watched a lot of UCF basketball because I did not. But I'm going to guess the guy's not surrounded by a lot of NBA talent at UCF. Like, I mean, he feels like a little bit of not a one-man team, but you guys know what I'm saying, right? I mean,
yeah, I know what
if
you're
a guy scores 18 at Kansas, it gets my attention, but I'm like, yeah, he had a lot of good guys around him. He's going to have even though this Auburn roster is a bit in flux right now, he's going to have the best roster around him he's ever had. So it will be interesting, when you get a guy like that that's actually playing with high-level players, how much better can he be?
Well, you when you think of the Big 12, I mean, what team do you think about?
Well, Kansas first.
Kansas usually, but Houston
now.
now.
But Houston. So he played against Houston one time this year. How do you think he did?
I'm going to say, by you asking the question, I'm going to say he had 11.
Well, again, I'm going to go back to the fact that I doubt he had much around him. So Kelvin Sampson was like, we're going to not let this guy beat us tonight.
Say 11.
2 of 12, 6 points.
Yeah.
That was his worst game of the year.
Kansas will do that to a lot of people.
Oh, that was Houston.
Or excuse me, Houston will do that to a lot of people.
I will tell you, I saw an All-American named Mark Sears go 2 of 12 against Duke in his final game.
Yeah.
Same number. I think he had 6, too.
Yeah.
2 of 12,
Yeah.
6 points, yeah.
Well, not only the 25 the last time out against Kansas, he lit him up for 34 earlier this year. So, I mean, the guy can score. The guy can do a lot of things.
So that's the future of Auburn. The current right now is Auburn and San Antonio, where today you will get a closed practice where Johni Broome is expected to be back on the court for the first time. And then tomorrow is an open practice. Media availabilities. We'll have Auburn Sound covered for you throughout the day and throughout the weekend right there at Next Round Live on all of our platforms, basketball show podcasts live after the games, the usual routine we've had all basketball season, brought to you by our friends at Culver's. We appreciate that. More basketball conversation in March Madness after we remind you that our show is being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors. One of them is our buddy Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. Listen, these storms that have blown through recently are going to continue to blow through this spring and summer. So we ask you right now to remember this number, write it down, put it right. I put mine on the side of the refrigerator, a little sheet of emergency numbers, and that includes Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. 542-3531. Why do you keep that number on standby? If you get storm damage, immediately call Greg. He's such good friends with the insurance providers. He's done this for so long, over 20 years. He knows exactly the process you need to go through to secure your home, and then let the insurance guys start doing their job. And then Greg from Pell City can start doing his job, repairing storm damage. He's got a builder's license. He can help rebuild some stuff. He can do it all for you, and he does it with great customer service, honesty, and he's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau.
Guess where he was yesterday?
Where?
My house.
Oh,
wow.
Got a shingle/roof situation.
Oh, it's time for a new roof.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
LT.
House built in 2007, so almost a 20-year roof.
About that
Yep.
time. He starts off with what he did for LT yesterday. That's a free no-cost roof inspection. And it's not just LT privilege. You get it as well. Free no-cost roof inspection, no obligation. Call Greg up, 205-542-3531. You can just leave him a voicemail. You don't have to talk to him, but maybe you want to talk to him. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, if you want to reach out that way. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. Also, our friends at NASCAR Brownie, we're getting ready to head back to Talladega.
TalladegaSuperspeedway.com to see the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend, April 25th through 27th. If you've never been to the track, you need to check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Okay, so the question I wanted to ask, I've been meaning to ask this all week, but I haven't gotten to it until this Thursday, the Thursday before we get to more San Antonio Final Four stuff. But did the Southeastern Conference meet expectations, or have they so far, of getting the 14 bids, all the stuff that they got, all the pomp and circumstance from the season? Did the Southeastern Conference meet expectations? I think they have to this point. Having 2 of the Final Four, I thought was the bar, and I think they met the bar. They will have 1 team in the national championship game. Do they have to win it to meet the expectations, or has the SEC already met expectations for getting all these bids and being talked about all season long? You first.
Well, I mean, you were a game away from an entire Final Four being SEC. I mean, look, Alabama really didn't show up against Duke. Got to give Duke a lot of credit there. But I think
Tennessee didn't show up against Houston.
Well,
Let's be fair there.
I do think 2 of 4 was kind of what you were shooting for. I mean, it was a miraculous finish for Florida. I think if Auburn would be the only one there, I would say, damn, boy, they left a lot out there. Now, again, whoever wins this is going to cover it up. We go back to 2011 when we talked about the most teams from one conference to ever be in before the SEC, the Big East. They didn't perform well in that tournament. The SEC performed much better, but they still went on and won it. So I think a lot of people forget that. And look, we know the SEC is going to be playing for the national championship, so you at least got one team that will be playing all the way to Monday. So I think they did live up to the expectations.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but the percentage of the field that is SEC teams grew with every round.
That's right. It was whatever, it was 21, and it was 40-something.
Yeah,
and it's been 50-50 for a while.
That's right. I mean, you had, 7 of 16, so it wasn't quite 50% in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
But then it was 50% in the Elite Eight. It is 50% in the Final Four, and it will be 50% in the national championship game. So it got to 50% and never changed. To me, that is successful if you hoist the trophy. It's hard to say it's the best conference we've ever seen, if that's your question, if you don't win the national championship.
I would agree with that. It feels a little different if Duke went. Like if Houston wins it, then you're like, damn, the SEC left it, it came up a little bit short. But if Duke was to win this,
you're never going to claim that the ACC was the best conference if Duke wins it. Nobody's going to say it was the best conference this year.
But because it's Duke, it seems a little different.
I think, have established the SEC was easily the best conference this year. I don't think anybody could argue that.
Which is why I say they've met the expectations.
Right. Now, if we're going to talk historically, I think you would have to win it. Yeah. But if you're just going to say, are they the best conference this year? Oh, of course, they're the best conference this year. We established that probably before they ever got to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Keep in mind, your four best teams have done what they were supposed to do. I mean, Auburn and Florida were 1 seeds. They are in the Final Four. Tennessee and Alabama were 2 seeds. They went where they were supposed to go, the Elite Eight. That was sort of supposed to be their floor, and it ended up also being their ceiling.
I told you guys about this snake draft where there's 8 of us and we get 6 teams each, and I got the 5th pick.
Yeah.
What went 1 through 4?
No 1 seeds at the 5th pick,
no.
are there?
1 through 4, 1 seeds. Guess who? 4 people are alive. The ones that pick 1 through 4.
Yeah.
That's right.
I chose between Alabama and Tennessee. I ultimately took Alabama, but just showed you. And one of the things that I talked about, I kicked myself in the ass because it's going to come down to this weekend, which is a little more exciting for us. But I thought initially, man, I think we might get all 1 seeds.
Well, I had 3 1s in Alabama. If I'd have just gone chalk with Duke, and I did originally, and I scratched it out, and I was like, I'm going to go Alabama.
It just seems too easy when you do 1 seeds.
Yeah.
It seems too women's bracket.
This is day 31 of my dad in the hospital. But I try to keep it normal when I'm there. And I walked in last night, and the first thing he said was, he has to move the oxygen mask. He's like, all my Final Four teams are still alive.
Oh, so your dad went all 1 seeds, huh?
And I was like, that's no big deal. You went all 1 seeds. And I was like, Nancy in the office pool back in the 60s would have had this Final Four. And he was like,
damn, take his morphine away, Donald.
How many do you have?
That's a good point, Dad.
I said, you got 1 more than me, Daddy.
So we've said this a million times, so forgive me for asking. This is the second time ever?
Yeah,
all
2008.
Okay.
We did 1979 is when we started seeding. So truthfully, we probably had the 4 best teams before.
But since we started seeding, this is the second time ever.
Yeah.
So, you would think it would happen more. You really would. Because, I think in this tournament in particular, you have seen the difference between a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, well,
it has really, really stood out.
Would you guys give me moving forward? I think we will see more of this because the NIL is going to separate.
NIL and transfer portal.
Well, it was all 1s and 2s except for 1 and 3.
That's right. Yeah, Texas Tech was the 3 that snuck in.
Yeah. The money team.
Yeah,
that nobody knows about.
From a great conference.
Do you guys think we'll ever get 4 from one conference? I thought that was so amazing. Nobody was really talking about it, that we literally were 4 games away from having 4 SEC teams in this.
Well, I think you're closer now than ever because, I think you look at the Villanovas and the Butlers that used to play in a really great Big East. It's going to be tougher for those teams to.
Don't say that to Kevin Willard. He left Big Ten.
No, but even Gonzaga,
I think
right?
he's going to be sadly. I think it's going to be a sad reality. Yeah, the Gonzagas of the world. It's going to be harder for them with their budgets to match what the SEC. Just look at Auburn. Auburn is playing potentially for the national championship. They're in the Final Four. They're in the Final Four. They just go get one of the best players in the Big 12. I mean, what do you do if you're Gonzaga to that, right? Like, Auburn's already Final Four good. They're going to lose a lot of that team. So what do? They just go grab one of the best players in the Big 12.
We've talked about John Shire and the job he's done following up Krzyzewski. The guy that follows Mark Few, impossible. Like, that could end up being a disaster job.
No, you're absolutely right, because, I mean, that's kind of what I thought about the poor guy that just followed Jay Wright that's already been fired. Can't even remember his name.
Oh, my gosh. How can I not remember?
It's on the tip of my tongue. But the guy that got fired at Villanova, like, how are you going to follow Jay Wright?
3 years, no NCAA tournament appearances.
But, I mean, I do think it's fascinating to watch Kevin Willard done away, because you said don't tell Kevin Willard that. The article I read was everybody in College Park got tired of hearing him say, in the Big East, we.
Yeah.
In the Big East, we.
Yeah.
Back when I was in the Big East, we. Everybody got tired of hearing about how great it was done in the Big East, and we're not doing that here at Maryland. I got a feeling when he gets back to Villanova, it's going to slap him in the face that the old Big East doesn't exist anymore, because y'all don't have the budgets the Big Ten and the SEC do.
One NFL note, and then we'll take a break, because we got who's coming up, Brownie, next segment?
Dalen Cuff.
Dalen Cuff.
Yeah, you put me on the spot.
I was
going to
say Dalen, and
no,
I knew
it
that
is
was
Dalen.
wrong. Dalen,
Dalen
Cuff
Cuff
coming up in the next segment to talk more Auburn in the Final Four. Show being brought to you first by our friends, Brownie, at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag.
Yeah, code next round at mybookie.ag. And when you use code next round, when you sign on there, you're going to get that sign-on bonus. It is a 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000. There at mybookie.ag. That's when you use code next round. We'll also throw in the $10 casino chip for you there. Austin and Timothy won the 50-50. I didn't win it yesterday, Dunaway. I just opened it. I'd forgotten I even put it in there.
God, what if you'd have won it right then? What was your reaction?
That would have been funny. I would have thought I would have gotten a notification before that. Austin and Timothy won $8,421.75 each in the daily 50-50 there at mybookie.ag. You can play that right there. You can also play the games. Here we go. Auburn Tigers back down to 2.5. It jumped up to 3 during the show yesterday, back down to 2.5. The Auburn Tigers an underdog to the Florida Gators. Duke's still holding as a 5-point favorite over Houston. Play those games, all the games, Major League Baseball, all of that. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round.
Again, back to basketball in just a second.
Kyle Neptune, by the way.
Thank you. That was killing me.
Kyle Neptune. Would you, Brownie, please, can we get a tie shot on Brown? Can you please get up, unplug your earphones, and walk and grab a Diet Coke?
Sure, I'd love to, Jim. For me or for you?
You have gotten pretty demanding on these Coke orders.
I'm setting something up here. Can you grab a Diet Coke, please?
He set it up where his name's going to be on this Diet Coke.
No. Well, what's the odds of him pulling the one with my name on it?
What do we got, 8 there?
Yeah.
1 and 8?
So here we go. He has put this. Now, plug your earphones in so you can hear me out loud.
Is there a name on that one?
No, the Diet Cokes don't have the name on it. It's only the Coke. The Coke's the
I am absolutely paying off my bet to Brownie right now.
Oh, what
here's
happened,
your Diet
Jim?
Coke. Well, here's what's happened. After yesterday afternoon, I go home and I read that from the owners' meeting, the Kansas City Chiefs have requested, nothing to do with Taylor Swift, the Chiefs have requested that they be permanently assigned the Christmas Day game.
Ridiculous.
Forever and ever, like the Cowboys and the Lions. They want to make it a Kansas City Chiefs home game tradition where they always play at home on Christmas Day. I don't know anybody who volunteers to work on Christmas Day.
I really don't either.
But the Chiefs, the organization, has gone to them and said, we would like to request that you make us a permanent fixture with a home game on Christmas Day. Our fans love it. Let's do it. They call it a Merry Chiefsmas.
Okay, do they understand that they were one lucky quarterback draft away from being one of the more underachieving organizations in sports?
Yeah, I know you're absolutely right.
But so was the Lions all these years, and they've embraced the Thanksgiving thing. Would you, if you were a Chiefs fan, would you embrace?
I mean, I don't know how the history of that went down, but I feel like when I was born and started watching football, the Lions and the Cowboys were just kind of dialed in on that.
Yeah.
Do you think the Lions went to the commissioner back then and said, we want to be Thanksgiving?
I mean,
Maybe they did.
I think it sucks for the employees that I know I got to work every single Christmas.
Well, it sucks for the fans.
Yeah.
Well, the fans but the fans have a choice in it, though, Lance. I mean, they don't have to go to the game. I know you're giving up a home game if you don't, and I've paid season tickets. But if I'm an employee of the Chiefs organization, I have to work every single Christmas now. There's not a Christmas I'll ever have off.
Well, I know in my
Unless
household,
they're saying they want home game, right? Home game every Christmas.
And see, that's another thing. You're saying, okay, I'll at least be at home every Christmas.
Well, I mean, Detroit and Dallas are.
Yeah, like if you've got older, like your old man, the situation he's in, you want to spend time with him on Christmas.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have like older relatives that come in, and you're spending time with them. You can't like go to a game.
But Christmas Eve is such a big day in my house, and that includes church service on Christmas Eve night.
Oh, yeah.
And then Christmas Day, we do the family stuff and a little brunch. I mean, by 12 noon,
Yeah, but
we're all now on our iPads.
I don't disagree.
New clothes on, or we're going to see the boyfriend.
Right. But if you're the equipment manager, you're there at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why I hate it for their employees. Unless the Hunt family went to every employee and they're like, no, we would love this. Then great. I mean, the Hunt family's a good ownership group.
They may say we're giving you a double pay.
Oh,
that would be awesome if they did that.
I think they probably have at least time and a half on Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that everybody got a Christmas bonus for working on Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's the Bengals. The Chiefs probably are a good organization. All right, when we come back, we'll get to the Final Four. Congratulations. Brown, I'll actually buy you a Diet Coke. That's a freebie. I just did that for a prop.
This was great right here, and it's
of course,
frosty
LT
cold.
thought I was setting up for something pro Jim or negative Brown or something, but it was just
his name not on the.
I really didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah. You went negative on me though. Merry Chiefsmas, and the NFL has not agreed to it, but there is big buzz that they will, for the third straight year, probably because of the Taylor Swift streaming numbers, get the Christmas Day game again this season. All right. Back to the Final Four, back to Auburn, back to Florida, back to Duke, back to Houston with Dalen Cuff on the other side when we come back. The show being brought to you by our buddy Dr. B. Got that LT hair looking fantastic today. Got the second best looking hair on the set today.
Dr. B, just the best at what he does. T3hair.net. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. 205-319-0316. Tell Dr. B and that great staff, the guys from the Next Round sent you. T3's got that new test. So easy, painless, affordable. Takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. Over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical form. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online. Don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on products and treatments that aren't working. Find out what will work for you. Go see Dr. B, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Super Speedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Super Speedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Link's 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
All right, counting down to the Final Four. The women, by the way, go tomorrow night, their Final Four. And they've got 3 1s and a 2. Ironically, the favorite to win it all now is the 2.
Yeah, let me guess. UConn?
UConn. It's crazy.
You know, it seemed like for a minute that Gino, was he ever going to win another one?
Yeah. Well, he's got to win it still, but he's been amazing. And I think he's been to the Final Four 16 of the last 17 years, even though it seems like South Carolina and other programs are sort of taking over the top billing. He's still there.
He's almost Dabo. Is that fair? Like Clemson still, I mean, they were in the playoffs this year.
That's a good point.
I mean, they were in the playoffs in 19 and got run, but
For the record, that is the nicest thing Lance has ever said about Dabo.
Compared to Gino Ariama. Let's talk to Dalen Cuff, ESPN college basketball analyst, with us now on the Shunnarah Hotline. What is up, Dalen? How are you?
Good to be with you guys. Look, Clemson love was a surprise that I just heard right there, but I think you guys feel even better about him than some Clemson fans when you talk to people in South Carolina.
No, not this guy. Not Lance.
I give him props for what he's been able to do, Dalen. I mean, what he created at that program. He's just always been hokey to me. But the guy obviously knows how to coach. And, you know, my point was, although Clemson is still really good and very relevant in the ACC, it doesn't seem like they've been really threatening to win a championship. And UConn has been kind of that team that's been hovering around. And it just seems like he hadn't won a championship in a while.
Well, he hasn't. And I do think he's still – I think what your point is, and a lot of the Clemson fans have angst about, is that lack of national relevance. I mean, the gap between being the 12th seed in the CFP and the teams in the top – not the top 4 seeds, the top 4 teams, let's say that, was a massive chasm. And I think that's the difference. It's closing that gap right now for Clemson.
Yeah, but
it doesn't seem easy.
You heard him say right there, being relevant in the ACC. We've sort of have done that in basketball this year, too. We sort of have pushed – Duke's really, really good, but the ACC. I've now seen Duke in person after they beat Alabama. I was there in Newark. I know we're going to talk Auburn and Florida and all the other teams in a second, but this Duke team, their defense looked unbelievably good. Is Duke the team to beat, in your opinion, in San Antonio?
I think they are, just because we've been saying this for a while. Duke is the most talented team in the country, but there was 2 hesitations there. And I think when I talked to you guys a couple weeks ago, that this one still is relevant. They haven't played in a close game, really. Speaking of Clemson, that was the last close game they played in. They lost at Clemson. They lost to Kentucky and Kansas. That go back to November. I mean, obviously they play Auburn in a relatively tight game, but I'm talking plays have to be made, crunch time, less than 2-3 minutes to go, 4-point game, 2-point game, how they react. We haven't seen that. They are the most talented team. They're playing that way. When we had the bracket, there was questions around Cooper and Malik Brown. Both of them are answered. Cooper's 100%. Malik Brown is back in the lineup, so they have their full complement of players. And that Alabama game, we talked about a lot on ESPN Live, ESPN Bet Live the day of the game. Alabama coming off 25 made threes was insane. But part of the problem there was BYU and Kevin Young. He's done a great job this year. I just didn't understand their game plan. They were going under ball screens. They were helping off of shooters. They were allowing Alabama to play their game. Duke didn't do that. Duke has the positional size at every position, so much length and versatility. They switch everything, and they can contain the ball, and they weren't going to help, and they were going to make you score over length. We saw Auburn do that to Alabama the first time they played to great success, and we saw a Duke team do that again. Now, Houston presents a different challenge, but Duke is the most talented team. They're the deepest team. They can hurt you the most ways offensively. But the physicality Houston plays with, how hard they defend, how hard they're going to test you in the offensive rebound, and if that game is tight late, how they respond is yet to be seen.
Dalen Cuff with us, the ESPN college basketball analyst. He's on the Shunnarah hotline. If you could do a blind taste test, all right, and I could just show you Duke basketball, but you don't know if it's a Jon Scheyer or a Coach K, could you tell the difference, and if so, how? That is a weird way of me asking how much has Scheyer changed. I should have just asked it that way.
It's a great – I like your analogy. Good question. Made me think a little bit more about it. Would you be able to tell? I don't think so, because Duke is, at least this Duke team, because it was built around defense first and foremost. I mean, Coach K, we talk about all the offensive players and the great players they've had, but still they were disruptive defensively. They imposed their will at times defensively. This team doesn't turn you over as much or aim to turn you over as much, so maybe that's a little bit different. They're maybe not out in passing lanes as much as Coach K's teams at their best would have been and wanted to be. But this group is able to defend, as you said, in a very, very stout manner that creates many, many problems for you. They also rebound the ball well. They've got good rim protection. Offensively, where I think they are similar, and this is what John learned from Coach K, or just saw that this is how you should coach the game when you have supremely talented players. I don't know why in college basketball we can run a set, or you run an action and you see success, and the next play, or you see a mismatch created, or you see an opportunity created, the next play, you don't just run it again, or run it again, or run it again, like you see in the NBA. They will beat you up until you adjust. Duke, at times, if they see an advantage, they will continue to push that advantage. They also will get their best players the ball in the right spots and play through them purely. He did that, whether it was, you can look back at Paolo Banchero and how they're isolating him, Jason Tatum with Coach K, and how at times they use Cooper Flagg when they use him as ball screens as a point forward. When they play through him on the empty side ball screen, they'll do a lot of different things where it is focused purely on him. And I do think just because you have the talent doesn't mean you maximize the talent and get them the ball in the places and the spots they need to have it, and the guys around him be successful. So that's where I think Coach Scheyer has really taken that and understood that from Coach K, and that is without a doubt how they kind of function at times, is we're going to play through our best players until you prove, in our best actions, until you prove you can stop it.
So I asked your colleague Seth Greenberg a couple of days ago this question. Now, I think he misunderstood it the way I asked it, and I just let him roll with it. He went Rucker Park because I said if you are drafting one of these players in San Antonio, like you get the first overall pick, who is that guy? And I made the mistake of saying playground-like, and he was like, well, if I want this guy at Rucker Park, and he went off on that whole outdoor basketball. So I just let him roll. But you know what I'm saying? If you could have one of these players for the next 2 games, who is it?
What was his answer? Was it Pettiford? Was it Clayton?
Well, he went Clayton because he was like, man, he'd be so good at Rucker Park. You know, what's y'all's great outdoor place that people play in Birmingham? And it just went a whole other direction.
It's too hot in Birmingham.
Just let him roll with it. But he went Clayton. And that might be your answer.
I figured. I mean, in terms of, this is the thing. Like, you're saying you want the player that I want to draft first that gives me the best chance to win the game.
Yes.
That's that is a challenge, but I think it is probably. I'll disclose this. Johni Broome was my player of the year nationally based on what he did. But if you're giving me a player to pick to win these 2 games, I'm probably taking Cooper Flagg. And it's a tight call, but it is the fact of how many different ways he can hurt you on the offense side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, what he does for their team both ways. Not to say that Johni doesn't do the same thing. I just think Cooper can present some unique challenges, as does Johni. It's a tough call, but I think I would lean to him in this spot, given the level of versatility, and why I voted for Johni as National Player of the Year in terms of the Wooden Award was his ability to succeed in those spots with a tougher schedule over the length of the season. So it sounds like I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth, and I get that. Your audience is like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, Johni has shown us, and I think basically what I'm saying is Johni has shown us through the course of the year what he has done. I'm still betting on Cooper and a little bit of potential, that in that close game, that he has learned how to close games. He's learned, or he's more comfortable in those late game scenarios. He may not be as easy to attack defensively as he was 3, 4, 5 weeks ago to get himself in foul trouble. How he can impact the game, I think I would lean toward him as the first pick. But it is very tight. The other piece I would add to this, too, if we are talking about the scenario we are in right now, Johni seems healthy, but he did get dinged up the last game. So, Bruce Pearl said he didn't practice the other day. I'm sure he's going to go. He's going to be good. But is he fully 100%? I don't know.
We do expect him back on the court in a closed practice today in San Antonio, and then we'll see him move around in the open practice tomorrow as our coverage continues in San Antonio. I wanted to ask you, I was also at that game at Neville earlier when Florida beat Auburn, and the Florida length seemed to bother Johni a little bit. Talk about that a little bit. Does he struggle with taller players, and does Florida have the size to run at Johni?
It's not just the size with a guy; it's the depth. And there's 4 dudes. That's problematic when you can run fresh bodies, and he's got to continue to perform on both sides of the ball. And remember, they tax you offensive rebounding as well, and that was one of the first times we saw Auburn really struggle defensively. Florida's able to get in the lane. I think their 2-point percentage was 58, 59, 60%, which is obviously not very good defensively. They also shot it well from 3, so they were getting paint touches, kick out threes. They were getting offensive rebounds. They were playing their game in their terms. So everybody, yes, struggles with length. I think it's the depth of it too, and the physicality of some of these guys. They can move with him, and whether it's Hauk or Condon, Handlock and getting healthy. Chinaloo maybe a little less so. Really fine being on the perimeter with him. They're totally comfortable guarding out the perimeter, making sure he's not getting open, step in wide open threes, which we know he can make. He can even make some off the dribble, but they can guard him out there. When they get in post with him, they can be physical with him and contest his shots, try to keep him off his left hand. When you can run different bodies at him, it changes the equation.
Dalen Cuff, the ESPN college basketball analyst, for a few more minutes on the Shunnarah Hotline. Is there any advantage Houston gets from having played 2 games in the football stadium setup, going to the Alamo Dome? Do you think any of that carries over for them?
It's an interesting question. I think that matters based on the venue. And for full disclosure, I've never seen the Alamo Dome set up. Obviously, Spurs play here for years. It has a better basketball sightline from what I've been told. I'll see it tomorrow. Basketball sightline, basketball experience than some of these other football stadiums that are converted. But I think that Houston's experience in this tournament and the players that have had success and the way they've kind of had success in this tournament, I do think last year plays a little bit. Remember, Duke did knock them out, and if Jamal Shead doesn't get hurt, I don't know if Houston loses that game. And that's a first-team All-American goes down and kind of changes the equation of that game. Those guys remember that. Kelvin Sampson remembers that. I think that plays a little bit, but it's a fair question. I do think the Alamo Dome, like you said, is a better setup, so I don't think it'll have as big an impact, but we'll see.
So we are going to have a first-time national championship head coach. Who's got the coaching advantage?
That's a good question. I do think, obviously this is Todd Golden. This tournament was his first ever wins in the NCAA tournament. So I think there's an inexperience factor there, but Todd's a great coach, great young coach, and has done really well. And bear in mind, I think he gets overlooked too, that the Texas Tech and JT Toppin, with 2 minutes, 50 seconds, they were down 9. He called a timeout, their last timeout, and said, he's done this at USF for years. This is an analytics-based guy. He said, we're going to go foul right now. Now, his team didn't execute. They didn't foul Toppin. If you go back and watch, they missed the foul on him, and they got Darian Williams. And Williams missed the front end of a 1-on-1. They come down to the 3. The next possession, they do foul Toppin early. We were still in the 2+ minute mark. Most coaches don't foul that early or that strategically about who we're going to foul. Let him catch the ball. He goes and misses. So Williams and Toppin will remember those missed free throws for the rest of their life. And it was because of a good coaching decision that gets executed down the stretch by his team in some big shots. So I think that although Todd is inexperienced and John Shire inexperienced at this level, it's not like it's a coaching hindrance. I do lean toward experience. Bruce has been here before in this level. Kelvin, has been here at this Final Four, has not won the thing. I would say the coaching advantage as far as, comfort, this is what we do, and the culture of the program. When things get tough, I would lean towards Houston. And there are huddles whenever Kelvin Sampson will yell at his guys. It's like, this isn't even about X's and O's. It's about our culture. And what that means is we're going to be tougher. We're going to defend. We're going to rebound. and we're going to play with a force and a fierceness that most teams do not see consistently for 40 minutes. If you can set that tone and you can rely on that and you can lean on that, and then you have the X and O's where he's very good in that regard too, let's not poo-pooing that at all. I would slightly lean toward Kelvin, but these are really two exceptional coaches that have been around for a while, and Bruce and Kelvin, and two exceptional young coaches, and John and Todd.
When I was a kid, I always thought when you referenced somebody as Robin to Batman, that was so insulting because I didn't think Robin lived up to the stature.
He's the clear number two.
Robin seems soft growing up.
Clear number two.
Sidekick seems to be an insult.
Yeah.
So I'll say running mate. Each team has its big star. Who is the best running mate? And I saw Knipple with there in Newark, and he was amazing that night against Alabama. Who's got the best running mate with the face of each of these programs?
Also, a good question too. I think that honestly, when I look at Houston and Auburn in particular, and Houston, bear in mind, doesn't have a first-team All-American in this Final Four. The other teams each have one. I think they can do it by committee. Crier's their best shooter, we know that, but Sharp's making plays. Miles Uzan is the most improved player in the country. So Crier may be the Batman to your question.
Yep.
But that Robin he's not really a Robin. Like Uzan is like he's really, really good. But in terms of like a number two, I mean, because I don't think Johni has a true number two. It's guys with different guys in different games, and different players step up. And Florida is the same way. Clayton has, sometimes it could be Martin, sometimes it's Richards, sometimes it's Condon. I think the most obvious 1-2 punch is Cooper and Khan's Knipple. So to answer your question, it is Khan, but I think that's cheapening the rest of the guys, because I think their other teams have some dudes that can really make plays. That's the best part of this Final Four, guys, is we got the four best teams, and we got the four deepest teams, and we got really great coaches, and I think great matchups. So Knipple would probably get the lean there, but it's almost by a process of elimination, because the other teams I don't think are really relying on those two. Like Duke needs Knipple and Cooper to probably play at a very high level to beat Houston. I don't think Houston has to have Crier and Uzan play their best game, because Roberts can impact the game in different ways. Sharp could make threes. Not to say Proctor can't. It's just how they run their offense, how they play. Those two dudes have to be really good, I think, to beat Houston.
I think Maverick and Goose might be the play there.
There we go.
I like that.
Crockett and Tubbs?
Yeah.
I thought Crockett and Tubbs were even.
Yeah, I almost went Calvin and Hobbs.
Calvin and Hobbs.
I couldn't remember Crockett and Tubbs.
Crockett and Tubbs.
Yeah.
All right, Dalen Cuff. Follow him on social media at Dalen Cuff, and see his coverage on ESPN from San Antonio all week. Thank you very much for the time, Dalen. Always great catching up.
Thanks, fellas. Be well.
All right, buddy. Take care. He is with us on the Shunnarah Hotline. You groaned it. Crockett and Tubbs. You didn't view them as equals?
No.
Really? They're more Crockett than Tubbs?
More Crockett.
For those that are young, that's the 80s in Miami Vice.
That is correct.
Yeah, it was
Don
Philip Michael
Johnson.
Thomas, I think, was Tubbs, and then Sonny
Don
Crockett
Johnson.
was Don Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, Don Johnson got more of the love.
Okay, Maverick and Goose.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't even close.
Well, Maverick, I mean, when Goose, spoiler alert, when Goose dies, Maverick's lost. Like, he doesn't know what to do.
I get that, but they weren't. I mean,
and they
look,
bring in
you
Sundown.
can't.
Sundown comes in.
You can't build a franchise on Goose.
No, Goose basically was there for counterweight balance. Somebody had to sit in the second seat.
Yeah,
I think y'all underestimate what the second seat does in an F-16.
Well, no, I don't underestimate that. I underestimate if Maverick would have been the one that shoots out and snaps the neck and dies.
You couldn't have put Goose with Iceman, and Iceman have been like, I got my guy now.
The movie's over.
I think the movie's over.
Yeah. I mean, like, no disrespect to the dead, but Val Kilmer didn't carry movies by himself.
Yeah.
Ever.
I would say that if Johni Broome went down, Auburn could still win this game.
Who's their Sundown? They got to bring in Sundown.
Bedford it put the Sundown on a lot of people.
Here's
Sundown was one of the greatest characters ever, too.
Maverick
back in the
hated
80s, we have to force a token black guy in where people aren't pissed. And what are we going to name him? Sundown.
He's got those mirrored
And I'm sure
glasses.
some old white executives were laughing. Sundown.
Show being brought to you today by our friends at ImageCraft. Tell us about ImageCraft, Brown.
They want you to print more and spend less, Jimmy D, at ImageCraft. And they help you do that by helping you save on all your printer and copier supplies. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. They offer free same-day delivery on all in-stock items to the Birmingham Metro, free shipping outside the area. If you want to save in the store right there in Trussville, just off Gadsden Highway near the Pinnacle Shopping Center, you mentioned the next round. They'll help you save 10%. If you want to save online, imagecraft.net, code TNR10 helps you save 10% there. Print more, spend less. If you are a car dealership, tax office, school, pharmacy, you do a lot of printing, save with ImageCraft. ImageCraft.net. ImageCraft, print more, spend less.
And our viewing menu every day brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Speaking of fighter pilots, you've got fighter pilot vision now.
2015 vision better than 2020. I had the 2200. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. Finally got the procedure done more than 2 decades ago. Took 12 minutes for both eyes. Dr. Mark Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation. Stop procrastinating. If you're wearing the glasses or the contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. Make the decision that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
We got a big release in the theaters today. The Minecraft movie comes out today.
Yeah, my little one plays Minecraft, and she saw the preview, and I was like, do you want to see that? She goes, Jack Black's not funny.
Yeah.
Wow, an 11-year-old just...
What is Minecraft? I hate that. This is the old man question of the day. Is it where you build things?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was 12.
You mine things to craft other things, and then you craft things to mine other things.
But was Sims something like that, too?
Sims, you built, like, houses and cities. And
Sims, you build houses and cities.
Amusement
Brown, you know
you
way
have,
too much about
people
this.
that interact with
I mean,
stuff.
I've got a college sophomore and an 11-year-old. I've run the gamut of these games. I've seen them all.
I love the fact that I was trying to tell you how old your youngest daughter was.
I thought she was 12.
I thought she was 12.
Right,
I was trying to correct Brad on your daughter's age.
Pretty sure she lives in my house. So, yeah.
So this stars Jack Black, Jason Momoa, and Jennifer Coolidge. And I'm really not sure how this movie's going to be. It looks like they've gone for a sort of Jumanji-type vibe where 4 people are just pulled into a video game world.
I'm going to tell you, it's going to be awful.
I'm expecting it to be, but I'm
How bad
seeing
was
it later
your
today.
Danger Mouse?
What's that?
Danger Mouse.
Oh, Scream Boat. Yeah. It was about as good as you would expect.
Okay, so
It's better than other of the other movies in that sort of public domain IP money
Winnie
grab
the
slasher.
Pooh massacre, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's better than some of the other movies in that sort of style, but
not great.
It's not great. A lot of Disney puns in there. So many that I was honestly expecting a lawyer to walk on frame and hand them a cease and desist.
Well, I mean, it was built to basically take shots at Disney. I would imagine.
Yeah. The main characters are all dressed up like Disney princesses, and their names are Cindy, Jazzy, Bella, Rory, and Ariana.
Wow, they are really close, aren't they?
They're real close, and they're dressed exactly like the princesses.
I view this like if you've ever been on the Strip in Vegas in front of the Bellagio is where I saw it. They've got these knockoff Mickey Mouse, and they're trying to take pictures and hustle
And
you
does
for
anybody
money.
pay them to
I
take
would
a
hope
picture
not.
with them?
And then I saw one Mickey Mouse take his head off and light up a cig, light up a heater, and just stand there and smoke out the Mickey head. I'm like, that's who that is in that movie.
Yeah, that's basically the movie.
Man, those special effects, that's Academy Award right there.
Oh, it was rough.
Hey, back to the poster, Forster. Like, if somebody looks at this poster and Tyler, this is your genre, but they're like, oh my God, this guy produced Terrifier 2?
For the producers of Terrifier 2.
Yeah. And the mean one? What is that up at the top?
Yeah, the mean one.
The mean one,
Yeah. Those are great
Really
movies, what that is.
Tricky font right there. Very creative.
It does make New York City look good.
It does.
If that mouse would get out of the way.
Put a scary mouse in front of it.
Q from Impractical Jokers shows up because it's set in Staten Island.
I wasn't going to see it until you told me that.
I don't know which one that is. He's probably not the funny one, right?
They're all funny.
Anything else?
We've got another release in theaters tonight, one that I'm sure will be much better than the Minecraft movie. It's called The Luckiest Man in America. Set in 1984, an unemployed ice cream truck driver steps onto the game show Press Your Luck, harboring a secret. The key to endless money.
Yep.
He's memorized the pattern, and his winning streak gets threatened when some executives figure it out. It stars Paul Walter Hauser from the Richard Jewell movie, Walton Goggins, and Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, it is a fantastic documentary on the Game Show Network, what the guy did. And I mean, how freaked out the producers got when they realized what he was doing.
And that is tonight?
Yes, that comes out this weekend.
Yeah.
But tonight?
Yeah, tonight is the,
premiere
it used
night.
to be the midnight premieres, but now it's the 7 o'clock.
But this is only theatrical?
Yes.
Oh, see, I thought it was going to be streaming.
Yeah, I want
It'll go to
Yeah, I
streaming,
mean, I'll wait
but-
till stream. I don't have to see that in the theater. But I am interested in seeing that because it's a fascinating
Do
story.
you guys ever offer something up and you're like, oh, damn, it's time to pay that off and I really don't want to?
Yeah.
Because I did last second Christmas gift this Theo Vaughn, and I got reminded that Theo Vaughn is next week. And I still don't have tickets. I just gave them the little, you're going to see Theo Vaughn, and I thought they would forget.
Yeah, no, they remembered.
Yeah.
Oh,
Birmingham or Huntsville?
I think it's Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
What venue?
He's so funny. Tickets are like $30.
What venue
The
is it?
amphitheater.
Oh, so it's outside?
Yeah.
It's outside.
I like him better on podcasts than his stand-up.
Hey, do you want to drive a couple of kids?
If you're a fan, I've got a deal for you.
We can work something out. Tyler's like, hell, why not?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
Got
sure.
nothing else going on. And then finally on Netflix, if you're not looking to go to the theaters this weekend, you've got a new show called Pulse. It follows the personal and professional lives of doctors and staff at a busy Miami trauma center. So if you're a fan of those sort of ER dramas, then you got a new one on Netflix.
Well, we got a new one that Dunaway was talking about.
That's
My
right.
ex-wife loves it, called The Pit.
Love it. I'm 11 episodes in. I think there's going to be 15. It's 1 hour at a time.
But every scene I've walked in and she's watching, it's like Noah Wiley is just over a patient. And it's the same thing every time.
That's all it is. It's ER, grittier.
So no Grey's Anatomy, nobody banging in the closet?
Yeah, no personal life. It's just
So
all
it's
medicine.
just all medicine.
Yep.
Yeah, but grittier than ER, you're saying.
Yeah, it shows a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Like full
That seems like that
full
wouldn't
baby
be
delivery.
appealing to the masses.
Wow.
Huh?
It wouldn't seem like it would be that appealing to the masses without the human element.
Well, I mean, there is human element. You get to know the doctors and the interns and things like that. They just never leave the hospital because it's just one day.
Yeah.
If they showed us the insurance manipulation behind the scenes on healthcare,
Oh, that's a big part of this.
Okay.
Oh, is it
and
really?
Noah Wiley, his interviews about this, he says, when we were doing this, the producers and I, we wanted to showcase what the front line people have to deal with, and that include the workers in the ERs and the medical professionals on the front line having to deal with the corporate folks who are like, it's all about getting people in and out, patient satisfaction.
he's healthy to go home. He can't walk. He can't see.
We're going to try to eventually sell to a different corporation, which is going to cut you even more. Nurses don't make enough. Nurses shortages. You watch this and you realize if this is close to real life, the doctors really don't always know what they're doing. Let's try this or this, and then it's like, oh, that didn't work. Now
sew 'em up.
But have you ever? I mean,
now their lips and tongue are swollen, and we need to give them
That-
a different injection to
that-
make that go
problem.
down, and we'll attack a different way.
that's why the vet to me is so much more impressive, because obviously the animal can't tell you what's wrong.
That's right.
And without us telling a doctor what's going on,
Well, that's
and I
what
know that's part of the battle.
that's
but
what Kramer said on Seinfeld. The vet, he's got to be able to operate on an elephant and a dog.
That's right.
He's got to know everything.
and can't ask the dog, hey, what's wrong?
Yeah. Where's it hurting, little fella?
Yeah.
So you watched ER back in the day. I saw a couple of episodes. I remember I was at Da Vinci's in Homewood watching the live episode that was so anticipated. Do you guys
I remember that. Yeah, I remember watching
So
it.
I didn't see many episodes, but I do remember George Clooney kind of being the alpha. Where was Noah Wiley in the pecking order of those characters?
He was the young,
Because all the chicks look the same, right?
young up and coming doctor,
Yeah.
and Maggie doesn't remember it this way, but we were dating and then married during the height of ER, which was 9:00 on Thursday night on NBC, and I worked at NBC 13, so that was always a big ratings night. I always had to work on Thursday nights, so she had to VHS it before we had DVR, and we'd watch it together when I got home. But she, was sort of a crush on Noah Wiley. And it just so happens that my grandparents who raised me's last name was Carter. But she thought Carter, which was Noah Wiley's character, was a great name for a boy. So, which is why Carter is named Carter. Now, she says, no, we named it after your grandparents. And I said, I was there.
Yeah.
I remember.
You brought up Carter because of Noah Wiley first.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that works because my grandparents who raised me's last name was Carter, so let's do it.
But Harper's after Harper Lee, right?
Yeah, 100% after Harper Lee.
And she agrees on that.
Y'all both agree on that one.
She does remember that way.
And she forgot that y'all's song is Tonics.
She never has agreed to that, but for me, it is Tonic, the way that she loves me. Yeah. She doesn't see it that way. That's what Tyler's watching. It's brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
And we're racing at Talladega, Brownie.
We are. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com is where you go to find a way to go see the, as they say on the screen, the intensity of Talladega. It is nothing more than white knuckle action at every turn. The fastest cars you've ever seen at Talladega Superspeedway. If you have never been, I tell people this all the time. If you've lived in Alabama any amount of time and haven't been to a race at Talladega, you are cheating yourself. It's amazing. The Jack Links 500 weekend, April 25th through 27th. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com for tickets. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Follow the Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Superspeedway is ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to this track, you've got to come check it out. 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway. It's April 25th through the 27th, and you can get your tickets right now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Looking for a great place for that boring meeting? Leave the office and go to the Golfus. What about corporate events like board meetings, sales meetings, customer appreciation events? How about the Golfus? Watch parties for football and basketball, parties for birthdays or couple showers. The Golfus is a great place for those. The Golfus has Birmingham's best golf simulators and man caves in Vestavia on Highway 31, opening soon in Trussville and on Highway 280. Bring whatever you want to eat or drink, even bring your own clubs. Get out of the office. Go to the Golfus. Book your spot now at thegolfus.com.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we're rolling into spring and summer around here. We're about to talk spring football in our spotlight here in a sec. But another tradition on our show, especially since we started this platform, is all the outdoor parties and events we go to in the spring and summer around here. It's my favorite time of year. That includes the Great Lake Fest, which is coming back around.
Number 15, the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show, presented by AmFirst. It is coming up in May, 9 through 11, so you got time to plan on this. A month away. Logan Martin Lake there in Pell City, free to the public. It is Alabama's biggest in-water boat show. 80 boats, vehicles on display, lakes, lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, live music, tons of giveaways. Friday night, they're going to have a fireworks show honoring our veterans, fairly close to Memorial Day there. Mermaids and Mateys Parade on Saturday. Free mimosas for Mom on Sunday, close to Mother's Day. LoganMartinLakeFest.com, LoganMartinLakeFest.com. And real quick, for the first time in the history of Lake Fest, 15 years now, AmFirst is offering a 0.5% off interest rates. That could save you like about $100 a month. Over the life of the loan, about $12,000. So a significant savings there. First time they're ever doing that. You can see everything. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Those are the things that excite you as an adult. You hear that as a kid. Like, what about the boat? Can I just get a boat? But you hear half off of a point.
Heck yeah. I'm saving now.
That's big savings right there. Big savings at lanceslock.com. Lance is about to tell you about Hemp Hill. I'm interested. I'm going to tell you what happened in the Dodgers game. Did you play Dodgers Braves last
did.
night?
It was funny, though, because I was telling because Brown looked up and he's like, your team's going to lose to a defeated Braves. I was like, man, they were up 5-0 early.
Yeah, 5-0 Braves. They blow the lead. I'm not saying the Braves are panicking, but Snitker with Iglesias tries to go a 5-out save. And it ends up biting him in the butt with a Shohei Ohtani walk-off. More amazing in that game, the only guy that can't hit apparently with a torpedo bat is Muncy. He tried the torpedo bat last night, was 0 of 3, went back to his old bat, the normal Louisville Slugger, and rips a 2 RBI hit.
Well, he'll never go back to the torpedo bat now.
But Ohtani comes up on Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night and hits a walk-off home run. More on the Braves' impact of them after you tell us about Hemp Hill and Lance's lock.
By the way, 2-0 last night on our lock, so that is 6 straight. So 4-0 on Tuesday, 2-0 last night. Jump on board, win with us. More winners up right now. Free play every single day at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling. Any of those issues arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
On the Dodgers and the Braves, good news is Braves off on their way home to play Miami to start the home part of their schedule tomorrow. They are 0-7, but the Dodgers are 8-0. They are the best team ever following a world championship, the best start ever at 8-0, passing the 33 Yankees, which they tied yesterday, the day before yesterday. But now they are just 5 wins away from the best start in baseball, which is 13-0, which is 3 teams that are tied for that.
Braves, Brewers.
Braves 1982, first one to go 13-0. 1987 Brewers, and
I think the Yankees in 1999.
Incorrect.
I have no idea.
Maybe the Mariners in 99.
There was a team that had a really hot start, surprisingly, last year. I don't think they ended up 13-0, though, did they?
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
2023.
Who was it?
This would take you back to the first segment when I asked you to go get a Diet Coke.
Uh-huh.
And LT's like, it's going to have Jim's name on it and stuff. Jim only brings this up because
it was the Rays.
It was the Tampa Bay Rays in 2023.
So self-serving.
But on the Braves at 0-7, no team in the history of baseball has started 0-7 and gone on to make the playoffs.
So Dunaway said this morning, bad history for the Braves. I said, let me guess, no team's ever gone 0-7 and won the World Series. He said, What's worse than that, Brown? No team's ever gone 0-7 and made the playoffs. Now, the playoffs are bigger than they've ever been, you got to take that into account. Yeah,
you got 3 wild cards now. Most of baseball, you didn't have 3 wild cards.
I mean, back in the day when we were kids, 0-7 would doom you because you were playing for one playoff spot, basically.
You just had to win your division.
Yeah.
And if you didn't win your division,
you're
done.
Seems like the Central is going to be a one-division team going to the postseason.
They'll be closer to the 500 line.
Yeah, I mean, right now you think the Padres, Dodgers, the Giants have been playing really good.
Diamondbacks are good. Everybody in that division out west except the Rockies.
Yeah, and the Mets probably not playing up to expectations yet, but they're 3-3, and Philadelphia is playing about like you thought they would. I don't know. I think it's going to be difficult. I would say seesaw, 40% they get in. I think 60% they don't make the postseason.
Just to make the playoffs. Yep. And it's 0-7. There's so many games left. They haven't even played home. And maybe, I mean, the 2 teams you played are the only 2 unbeaten teams. So maybe you played the best 2 teams in baseball.
Disagree with that. But again, offense has become a problem because after scoring a 2 spot in the first and 3 in the second and up 5-0, guess what? You didn't score again. Yeah. I mean, so I think offense is a problem. We talked about the starting lineup and everybody below the Mendoza yesterday. Didn't get any better last night.
122 with runners in scoring position this year. They're hitting 122 with runners in scoring position. You can't win that way. A new pennant grace comes up later today. In about 2 hours and 5 minutes, you'll get Ush and EG.
If you're down 5-0 in baseball and you commit 3 errors, what do you think your win percentage would be?
3 errors in Major League Baseball.
You're down what? 5-0?
5-0.
I'd say you lose all of them.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Dodgers last night. I mean, they played sloppy baseball. They were in a 5-0 hole, and they end up winning that game. And that's got to be – I mean, you think about the Braves just trying to get off. It's such a long season. If you're Snitker, hey, man, we've got 162 of these. No reason to panic. We're on a West Coast trip right now. But when you blow a 5-run lead that late – that's deflating.
Your favorite series is next, Braves Marlins.
Yeah, they play all the time. 0-9 was the Braves start in 2016. This is their worst start since then. They finished 68-93 that year. They were on the way to that rebuilding year.
Not going to be that bad.
Yeah, so that was 2016.
I think they'll make a run at it. I mean, do you guys right now gun to head?
I think you're a little high at 40%, but it's certainly the door's not closed.
But you would say that they're not going to make it. I mean, gun to head.
I would bet against them making it right now. Absolutely.
It's 6 playoff teams.
Is that right?
3 division, 3 wild cards.
Yes.
It's 6.
But now, when you say 6, I mean, 2 of them are in the one game. Yeah. They face off in
I
the
don't think
game.
they do that anymore. It's 2 out of 3.
Crap.
I
can't keep up with whatever.
I think you go Dodgers, Padres, Mets, Phillies, Central Division, and the Braves are fighting for that other one. Yeah, I think the Braves.
Okay, your wild card with the least amount of wins last year was 89 wins in the National League.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be in the high 80s to get into the postseason, and
you've already taken on 7 losses.
That's a big hole.
I think they make it as the worst wild card team.
Okay.
On the road in that short best-of-3 series. Pennant Grace today, 12:15, live every Tuesday and Thursday with Emily Grace McWhorter and Josh Sisk there coming up later on. All right, we go to the spotlight in just a second to talk college football. Before that, it is our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. They're there to help you out, guys, as you age from your 20s to your 30s, from those bulletproof years to when you start realizing, man, I'm starting to hurt a little bit in my 30s. They take care of everything from all your urological needs, prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. When you get to that point in your family planning where you want a vasectomy, they do that. Everything right there at Urology Centers of Alabama. 16 great locations. 205-930-0920. 930-0920. 16 locations, 35 urologists. The wonderful folks at Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Let's talk a little college football. Let's do the spotlight now. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight each day presented by our guy, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys right here in Birmingham. 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported more than 500 dedicated team members, and have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. You find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com. winless.com.
Our Emily Grace McWhorter has an opportunity to be on campus a lot at Auburn and Alabama, both during football and basketball season. She was over there yesterday, and she had a chance to talk to Quay Russaw, and he's on the leadership council this year. So being the great J-School graduate of Georgia Southern, Emily Grace says, hey, who else is on that leadership committee? And, you know, L.T. Overton is there, another guy's there, Proctor's there, blah, blah, blah's there. And one name popped out that was on the leadership group that will probably take away the mystery of the quarterback race. Ty Simpson's on there.
Yeah.
Can you be on the leadership council and not be QB1?
I think Daniel Jones was captain for the Giants for a while. I'm just saying, look, I mean, Kalen DeBoer understands, and he is a quarterback guy. And now you got Ryan Grubb coming in, and these guys know in year two how pivotal it is. I mean, they won 9 games last year, but that's just not even close to good enough. You have got to get to a college football playoff, so they're going to play the best guy. I mean, I think he's got the leg up. He's been there the longest. I think a lot of people would pull for him because he's paid his dues, but they're going to play the best guy.
Obviously they are, but that he's on the leadership council probably is an indicator that he obviously is leading the race right now that will continue
Or
on.
it's harder to transfer out if you're on the leadership council. I'm just playing cynical here.
Yeah, I noticed.
but you agree, right? Like, okay, you're not going to be named the starter, but we appreciate what you've done for this program. We appreciate everybody respects you. We're going to put you on the leadership council.
This, and it may not change my answer here, but I would like to know who selects the leadership council. Is it coaches nominating players? Do the teammates vote on guys? I don't know. I
Should
kind
be
of like
players.
to know that. I would agree with you. I think I would want my leadership council to be guys that the players respect. But if I'm a coach, I'm also like, just because they respect Jim doesn't necessarily mean I want Jim having a leadership role.
That's right. Well, Emily Grace is just in the green room here, so when she hears this, run in and let us know if she knows the answer, who selects the leadership council. I thought it would be the coaches.
I would think
under
so,
Nick
too.
Saban, I think the coaches selected the leadership council, but I may be wrong about that.
Yeah.
I'd love she'll hop in and tell us.
So you would read into that
In the quarterback race, and what I'm hearing from camp is that he is doing everything he's supposed to do to be QB1. He's having a great camp.
But let me ask, how weird would it be if Austin Mack was on the leadership council and Ty Simpson wasn't? Like, I almost think immediately Ty Simpson would be like, let's pack the bags.
Yeah, I want my – this is going to be conflicting. Like, I don't know that I would look at this and say that tells me Ty Simpson has the big-time leg up here. But I would also look at it and say, if my starting quarterback, my team didn't think enough of to put on the leadership council, I do worry about that a little bit. You follow my logic there, right? Like –
Nick Saban always said what? In this quarterback battle, my quarterback's going to be whoever wins the team over. He never talked about talent.
Well, yeah, I mean,
whoever wins the team over.
I think if it's close in a quarterback battle and you've got one guy where the team gravitates to, I think it's a no-brainer. But you're not going to put a true freshman in there, obviously.
Yeah,
I think it would be strange even 1 year in the program, and we've seen it before. Caleb Williams was a guy that immediately USC anointed him a captain. He was part of the leadership, and obviously that all worked out, and that was immediately when he transferred from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But if Austin Mack was on this council, it would seem a little strange to me.
Yeah, there's no position where leadership matters more than quarterback on the football field. I mean, you want your quarterback to be the undisputed leader of that offense. Whether he's the loudest voice in the room or what, you want people to respect his leadership because he's the quarterback of the team. So if Ty Simpson is the starter and is on the leadership council, that's obviously a good sign.
Here's Kalen DeBoer on year 2 of him in charge in Tuscaloosa and how spring is rolling right now.
Year 2 always just feels different, right? You know the guys, you understand now and have gone through experiences together, and they know where you're coming from when you come to them, good or bad, and you know what they've been through and what they're experiencing. So I think a lot of it is just the next step of the relationships leading to just the passion coming out and myself, our staff, through and the expectations aren't changing. It's just that everyone's, and especially after a season like last year, got another level of hunger to make sure we, get back to where we expect to be. And, it's been a joy out there because, the guys know where I come from and I can coach them up. I know where they got to get better. I've been, articulated that. Our staff articulates that to them, and we hold them to that expectation.
You guys help me remember, though, the last time we had the inconsistencies that you had at the quarterback position at Alabama. Like, I don't think you ever saw it with Nick Saban. Even year one, John Parker Wilson?
No. I mean, year one, I guess he
wasn't great, JP. I mean, he had some good games, but
year one probably. But that could be as much as the people around you as anything else. But
and I'm not even talking about the highs and lows. We've never seen anything like you saw with Jalen Milroe. But I'm just talking about week in, week out, really not knowing what you're getting.
That's right.
I mean, Coker, Blake Sims, all those guys, McElroy, all steady Eddie.
It might not have been amazing, but you knew what you were getting each week. Is your point?
Right.
Yeah. EG says voted on by the team. So the team is the one that voted Tyler Simpson there. EG, I was talking to her in the last break, and she said, I would bet my left pinky toe that Ty Simpson's the starter right now.
Cover Crimson, more coverage of that. Clint Lamb, Mick Gillespie over there, covercrimson.com, covercrimson.com. Like, subscribe, all that over there at covercrimson.com.
And that's a big offer for her. She's not going to want to walk around
left pinky toe
swimsuit season with no pinky toe.
That's right. It's a lot to give up.
But the barnauburn.com, down at Auburn, the folks over there talking about how Alex McPherson, the kicker, is healthy and kicking at the elite level he was recruited to do. So that was a huge problem for Auburn last year. You were not guaranteed extra points or any field goals. But Alex McPherson is back healthy and doing well. Quarterbacks are playing well. Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight from the barnauburn.com if you want to check that out. Here's Braden Joyner on Auburn's offensive line, which to me is the biggest question. He says, hey, you don't have to worry too much about that. It looks pretty good in camp.
I feel like we're very talented up front. We're very deep, and I feel like we got a lot of guys that are willing to come in and work every day. And it's a different feeling in the room. Like, the best feeling I felt in the O-line room in the past 3 years, and I feel like Coach Thorne is more comfortable over this O-line, just having a lot of guys with a lot of experience. I think we're one of the most experienced O-lines in the country, so I feel like that's a big part in our success.
That's our college football as we get ready for Big Cat Weekend. If you're an Auburn fan of recruiting Auburn football, Big Cat Weekend coming up this weekend. I'm sure they'll have a watch party going on during all that recruiting of Auburn's Final Four basketball. We'll get back to basketball later in the show. We're about to do 4 downs from Tyler here in a second, but part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Way to Wellness, Leslie and her board-certified team helped me stay healthy. I appreciate them so much. Planforme.com. Planforme.com is the website. You get there and you'll find out there are a lot of things to love about Way to Wellness. One, there's no contract, so you're not locked into something long-term. You get a free consultation right there, and there's no cookie-cutter plan. My plan is different than anybody else's plan when you go in there, and I'll be honest, I'll tell you what my plan is. I have these protein bars I eat. There's 4 of them. I have one for breakfast, one about midway through the show coming up here in a second. Then I have my own lunch. Then I have 2 protein bars in the afternoon that keeps me from, banging a bag of chips or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or Snickers or anything like that. Those protein bars keep me until I eat a nice dinner. Usually I'll just have one afternoon protein bar and save that other one just in case I need something instead of a bowl of ice cream or a bowl of cereal before I go to sleep. Then I could pound that instead. So that's my plan. I'll just tell you what that is right up front there. She can get a plan for you. Just go there, planforme.com, planforme.com. And, of course, our 4 downs brought to you by the wonderful folks at Bojangles.
Yeah, if you cannot decide at breakfast between sweet and savory, Bojangles says you do not have to. The Bojangles new chicken and bowberry waffles. Bojangles signature Cajun chicken filet drizzle with a bowberry glaze sandwich between warm waffles. Available for a limited time. It's Bow time.
First down.
Jane Goodall turns 91 today. What's your favorite kind of monkey?
The weirdest question we've ever been asked.
Spider monkey.
Yeah, I would go the spider monkey too, because I remember we had Monkey Island at the Birmingham Zoo way back in the day, and I just thought the skinny with a long tail.
Is that spider monkey?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I think it's everybody's favorite. Yeah.
That was the one I was up close and personal.
Yeah,
Right?
Like the chimp, they just, aesthetically, the spider monkey looks the best to me.
Yeah.
I like orangutans.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, they're so cool to me.
But
they just look dirty.
The spider monkeys, they were fun loving.
Yeah, they're having a good time in the monkey enclosure there. They're hanging by their tail from the limb. Yeah. You know, they're throwing stuff at one another. They're, slamming on the window at kids. I mean, I think they're playing the part. I think the spider monkey at the zoo knows his role, and he knows, I got school kids here. I'm here to entertain, so I'm just going to be crazy and entertain while the school kids are here.
Fun loving. Let's go.
Fun loving. I mean, I'll go take a nap, when the zoo closes, but I mean, the spider monkey clocks in every day and goes and entertains the school kids.
Guys, let's put on a show. Let's go.
Here they come. Here
comes
the middle school.
Was it the movie? Was it Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights that actually
like spider monkey?
Yeah, I think that actually brought the spider monkey a little mainstream.
But the gorilla is an amazing animal, but at the zoo, to Brown's point, he's usually just
he's laying there
or sitting there. He's just sitting there and he's like, man, if you come on the other side of the glass, I'm gonna tear you apart.
Yeah, he might walk around, but then he stops and says, the spider monkeys, they are giving you the show that you paid the zoo admission for. So I appreciate their work.
Nobody saves the logo up here. We're all spider monkeys.
Right.
Second down.
All celebrity birthdays today. Adam Scott turns 52 today. Brown, you've said that Severance has just gotten weird for the sake of being weird.
That is absolutely correct.
You're not sure how you feel about it anymore. Yep. So is there a show or a movie that you wanted to like, but you ended up just being confused by?
So first of all, on Severance, we were just talking about this in the break. Your question reminded me. I asked them if they had seen the season finale, and neither one of them have. Dunaway's been traveling, they've been busy.
3 episodes left. My daughter, it's her favorite show. She's so disappointed, but I told him the other night at dinner, I was like, I don't understand
I think we're all in the same place on Severance. We're all like, I could give up. I kind of want to see how it ends, but it's just so freaking weird.
I mean, that show's so weird that I've never seen it, but clips will pop up like from the finale recently on my social media feed, and I'll see it and I'll be like, this isn't even a spoiler. I have no idea what this could
I think
be.
No, you don't.
I think it is so visually stylish. Like it's kind of fun to watch, and the characters, you don't know what direction it's going to go. But to Brown's point, my fear is if they want to keep this thing going for 5 or 6 more years, they can, and then I could see it end, and everybody still doesn't know what the hell's going on.
I know.
But a show that I watch that you might have seen, Dark on Netflix, it's a German sci-fi, and I watched the first season, and I was just like, they were crawling in holes, and they were going to different different times. It was like kind of a time travel thing. I didn't get it, but I watched the first season, and it was kind of like, this is kind of good, but I can't understand it, and I gave up.
I enjoyed Lost. And I enjoyed Lost because I'd watch it. And then I'm not one of those guys that hangs around, how they'll have, don't forget, the after show where they'll have the characters sit down and talk about the show. I don't hang around for that ever. Usually I'm a quick click to watch the next episode. And if there's not one, I'll go watch something else. But with Lost back in the day, they really didn't do the after show. So you would instantly get online and start reading everybody what they just watched, and you'd get instant reaction, and smart people in the chat would be like, oh, the black smoke really represents this, and this guy was really, he's going to do this to this, and I was like, oh, it makes sense now. And oftentimes before the next episode would come, I would go and rewatch it with the knowledge of what I'd learned from the smart people, going, oh, I see it now. It makes sense. So that's the kind of show I like.
Well, White Lotus, the guy that created it, they talk about all of these Easter eggs that he puts in every episode. And so now it's become part of my feed, and it's just like everybody's taking a deep dive in every single part of dialogue, anything somebody's wearing.
Oh, see, I didn't know there were any Easter eggs in White Lotus.
I don't get into it, but it pops up all of the time.
If y'all make it to the Severance finale, the season finale, Greg just brought it up. There's a high school band in it, and I'm like,
that was one of the clips I saw.
It makes
There's somebody just marching in a brightly colored room.
No sense.
I don't know what it is.
I love World War II era stuff. And my wife and I tried to watch Man in the High Castle.
That was another one I gave up.
Yeah, I stopped on that one.
For those that haven't seen it, it's alternate reality. United States loses World War II. The Nazis control the eastern seaboard. The Japanese control the western seaboard. And
we still have America.
We still got Central America, not Central America, but Middle America.
Yeah.
with different territories.
It was so confusing.
Yeah, I committed way too much to Lost, and back to your point, after I did that, just pushing through, I will never do that with the show. If I feel like I need to tap out, I'm going to tap out.
I'll tell you when I got out of the Man of the High Castle, where they had gone to the middle America,
right?
And there was a casino scene, and then she's going to get back and ride a car back to the West Coast, I think. Whatever that lady is, that ends up helping kill somebody in Chinatown or Japanese town or wherever it was.
So I did the same thing in Man in the High Castle that I did in Lost. Now I watched none of Lost except the season finale or the series finale because these two were watching it. Had no clue what was going on. I actually watched some of the Man in the High Castle. Watched the series finale, no clue. Can't even tell you, like, if you were to say sum up how it ended, Brown, I'd be like, yeah, I got nothing for you, man. I got no idea how it ended, and I watched the series finale.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I've got one. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't get the Mad Men love. I don't get it. I tried to start it a couple of times after you guys were bragging on it.
Oh, fantastic!
Incredible.
I love Mad Men.
Truthfully, no, Forrester, you watched it in real time, right, when it was coming out?
So I didn't watch first season or second season in real time. I caught up by like the third season. So I did watch the final 3-4 seasons
and I
in real time.
binged it afterwards. Yeah,
I didn't watch it until it was already done.
Oh, same here. I picked it up on Netflix.
So I tried to start watching it a couple of times, and it took me rewatching the first 2 or 3 episodes a couple of times before I fell in love with it. I did fall in love. I'm going to go back and watch it again. I've already watched it all the way through twice. I'll watch it again someday.
You could make, for me, Scott, the argument that Roger Sterling is one of the greatest single characters in television history.
I don't think there's any doubt. I think I did a random 5 great television characters in history on Twitter a couple of years ago, and Sterling was on
Roger
list.
Sterling's spectacular.
My answer for this question is the movie Mulholland Drive. Had to watch it in film class.
David Lynch.
Yep. I like Eraserhead, and that one's really weird.
But Twin Peaks, all of that, man. Like, that was one of those, it looked to be a fascinating series, and I was like, I can't keep up with David Lynch.
Okay, Mulholland Drive. And this is horrible, okay? Never mind.
Do it. Can't go this far.
2 female characters fall in love and they start making out in the bed.
I had a feeling I knew where you were going with that.
Is that it, though?
Yes.
Is that Mulholland Drive? Okay. I get that and L.A. Confidential confused and something else.
Well, same period.
Yeah. Yeah, but Mulholland Drive.
Only scene where I
L.A. Confidential, not confusing.
That was the only scene you knew.
Like,
was the makeout scene. I got that. Yeah.
Hey, who are is it Naomi Watts in it?
Yeah, Naomi Watts, and I forget who else.
Probably Jennifer Connelly. If we're lucky, right?
Yeah, that was a good movie. I liked Mulholland Drive.
I've been on the actual Mulholland Drive. I've never seen the movie, but I've been on Mulholland in Beverly Hills.
Murder detective. Yeah. Confusing.
It goes through the canyon.
Yeah. It's pretty drive.
Naomi Watts, Laura Herring, Justin Theroux, and Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus?
I don't remember Billy Ray Cyrus in that movie at all.
What a random inclusion.
But
I think he's the bad guy.
Sure.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I watched it twice for film class and still couldn't tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Third down.
How you end up working for us.
Exactly. Now, Eddie Murphy turned 64 today. What's your favorite Eddie Murphy role?
To me, Reggie Hammond in 48 Hours.
I was about to say 48 Hours.
Yeah, I just loved him and Nick Nolte. I just thought it was a great dynamic.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything. I mean, Eddie Murphy is Donkey and Shrek.
I was going to
freaking incredible.
Coming to America.
All the characters.
It's Coming to America.
It's Coming to America.
Well, all the characters he played in Coming to America was. I mean, he's such a talented guy.
What was the best character he played in it, do you think?
I love the barbershop scenes, and I did like Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, Sexual Chocolate is the best.
Yeah, you guys missed it. Y'all were gone. Chris Stewart says I misunderstood what he told me. I think Chris twisted a little bit of information, but Mo Diabate, once we got to Newark, he's from Queens.
Right.
And in the tweener day after they'd beaten BYU, I was walking in. I said, I don't even know what to ask these guys. I just interviewed them last night. And Chris was walking beside me, and he said, Mo is from Queens. There's buzz that he's going to get a group go over to his old barber shop. So as I go into the open locker room, and I've told this story on the air, but I'll make it quick. I'm going to ask Mo about taking players over. Well, Mo's going to the podium, so I can't interview him until he comes back. So I start off with, Youngblood, CY, and I'm like, hey, buzz is that Mo's getting a bunch of guys get to go over to the barbershop in Queens, his old barbershop. Very much, I picture it like Coming to America.
Rocky Marciano!
Yeah. And CY goes, man, I need a fresh cut, but God, I'm not on the invite list. I can't believe this isn't happening.
Oh, tearing the team apart. No wonder
then I go to
do.
Jaron Stevenson, and I'm like, hey, man, I know you got this style.
Was this
going
after
on.
BYU?
This is after BYU, before the other one. And then Stevenson's
now we know.
Yeah, here it
Stevenson's
is.
like, I'd love to go, but I didn't get invited. So to be funny, I would go to Grant Nelson. I'm like, hey, you think Mo's going to get you on this trip to his old barbershop? So then Diabate comes back.
They would look at Grant. They'd be like, we can't do nothing with it.
Diabate comes back, and I kneel down. I got my phone, my next round mic flag, and about that time, 60 microphones and cameras are there. Everyone's there because they've interviewed everyone else, and Sears hadn't made it back yet. And I'm like, hey, and everybody's looking at me because I guess I'm the oldest guy in there. They expect I'm going to ask the first question. I'm like, hey, there's buzz that you're getting a bunch of guys together to go to your old barber shop. And he's like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
So Chris had set you up like it's Coming to America?
I was like, like Coming to America, I picture the Queens barbershop, just such a big part. And he's like, my barber came to Team Hotel, gave me a fresh cut, my old barber from Queens, but I was just catching up with him.
Thank God he did, because how awkward would that have been?
That is hilarious.
And I was like, man, I thought you were taking a bunch of guys. Nope, not doing that. We don't have any time. We're practicing all the time. It was bad. So, but Coming to America is a good one. That barbershop scene is a classic.
It was not the golden child.
Nutty Professor is also really good.
It is good.
Trading Places is really good too.
One of the funniest Eddie Murphy movies I've ever seen is Life, with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. But I wouldn't say he steals. Bernie Mac probably steals the show in that one.
Yeah, I liked Life. I didn't love it.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
4th down.
Marlon Brando would have been 101 years old today. A lot of people say he is the greatest actor of all time.
Who says that?
A lot of people do.
A lot of actors say that that Marlon Brando, his style of acting is what inspired them to act and taught them how to act. But who is the greatest actor in history?
I'd go Leo. I know he's acting right now, but DiCaprio for me.
Leo is definitely in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean, this is random. Paul Giamatti is such a great actor.
Great.
I probably would go Jack Nicholson, but I've got no problem with Leo.
I have no problem with Leo. I mean, anybody but Brando.
I have no problem with Jack Nicholson or Leo.
What about throw De Niro in there?
Yeah, De Niro, Sean Penn. I mean,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Complete weirdo, but great actor.
Yeah.
And I think
ABB for me. Anybody but Brando.
I think the problem with Daniel Day-Lewis, not the problem, because I think he is well respected amongst his peers. But, a lot of the material he did, much like your Lincoln that you absolutely hate.
I don't like the movie, but I respected his role in it.
I mean, the last thing Daniel Day-Lewis did was the dressmaker movie. What was it called? I mean, he's done some weird material that I don't think really appeal to mainstream.
No, I'm done with Daniel Day-Lewis. Gangs of New York.
I killed it.
Sold so hard.
I know.
To me, and
I was so
watched
excited about it.
Yes, it's got all the pieces that I would want in a movie,
except a good movie.
Except being a good movie.
Well, and there was a weird cast, like Cameron Diaz being cast in that was.
Yeah, I agree.
Ridiculous.
That was the one they missed on.
That is 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Show also being brought to you by our friends at New Life Art. Your opportunity to get great moments throughout history of Alabama sports, Auburn sports, and other great moments from Daniel A. Moore. Just go to danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com. Use the promo code TNR if you want a little discount on the great works. You see some of the ones in the past, including Rocky Block there, that if you don't get that big play, you don't get the 2009 national championship. Goal line stand from 1979, all the works in between and afterwards. It is a collection, to say the least, danielmooreart.com, and that includes the legend right now. What a great gift coming up for somebody's birthday who's a big Bama fan. danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
What a great time of year to be online with our friends at MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
If you are a business that does a lot of printing, like a car dealership, mortgage company, real estate office, tax office, bank, school, or university, print more and spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft is located at 1151 Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, and online at imagecraft.net. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. Shop in-store, mention TNR for a 10% discount. Shop online at imagecraft.net with coupon code TNR10. ImageCraft. Print more, spend less.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the Next Round as we continue on. Sorry, a little late back for this segment here. We'll play catch up with you. Still get four downs. Still get trash coming up in the final hour of the show. Back to basketball here in a second, but the NFL draft a little bit later on this month. Getting close. Cam Ward projected to go number 1 overall, projected to go to the Titans. Bruce Feldman and others who are writing at The Athletic says, do not expect Shedeur Sanders' drop to be that far. When you're saying Sanders' drop, it may end up only being 3rd or 4th overall. in the NFL draft. So the draft conversation will pick up as we get closer. The show today being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. LT, tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, true pioneer in the industry, the first to perform the laser procedure back in 1995. I got the procedure done 2 decades ago. 2015 vision, still better than 2020. Very simple. Write this number down, 205-969-8100. Call it. Ask for Amy. She's going to hook you up with a consultation, absolutely free. You've got zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. I haven't seen Shunnarah fall out of like the top 15 available on anybody's.
That's right.
So if you're evaluated as a top 15 talent and you're a quarterback, he's not going to fall out of the top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what they were all saying today at The Athletic. As we get closer, this whole talk about Shunnarah dropping, the drop is just from 1 to maybe 3 or 4, not out of the top 10, so not that big of a drop.
Let's take a look at the point spreads right now in the Final Four. We mentioned at the start of the show the last time we looked at this, Auburn had dropped down to a 2.5-point underdog. As Furman likes to say, they couldn't find support there. It's back up to 3. So Florida is a 3-point favorite over the Auburn Tigers. Duke still holding as a 5-point favorite over the Houston Cougars. That's in your Final Four games. Coming up this Saturday, you can play those games and everything else at MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round. Code Next Round at MyBookie.ag gets you that 50% sign-on bonus when you register and use Code Next Round up to $1,000. Also a $10 casino chip. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round. MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round.
All right, so we're at the Final Four, and everybody's got their star, all right? And we talked to this about to Dalen a little bit earlier on. Cooper Flagg is the face of Duke. Johni Broome is the face of Auburn. Walter Clayton Jr. is the face of Florida. And L.J. Cryer is the face of Houston. You throw Knipple in there for Duke, it's got to be a 1-2 punch. After that, give me an X factor for each team. The one guy you think has to be big for 2 games to win the national championship. Do we want to go in order here? Let's go Houston first. Who's got to be big in 2 games other than L.J. Cryer for them to win?
Well, I think it's Emmanuel Sharp, and you saw when Tennessee creeped up. I mean, that game was over at halftime. There was no way 15 points at half they were going to be able to overcome that and beat Houston. But they cut it to 10, and you're like, oh, damn. And you saw that crowd get behind the Vols, and then Emmanuel Sharp hit not only 1, 2 massive threes. That was the difference. You heard Dalen Cuff talk about him a little bit, but Sharp is that guy outside of Cryer for me.
Yeah. I would say this. I'm looking at a ranking from CBS Sports, and of the 14 top players of the starting 5, now this doesn't have Pettiford involved because he's not a starter, but of the starting 5, they ranked the starting 5s in sort of a power ranking at CBSSports.com. L.J. Cryer is 4th. The next Houston player is Emmanuel Sharp at 15th. That's how behind the 8-ball roster-wise Houston is perceived.
You could look at it the other way. They don't have to rely on one. Like you chop the head off of, I don't want to say Cooper Flagg because Alabama kind of did, and they still got beat by 20. But a lot of these, if you take their alpha away, like I can't imagine if Walter Clayton Jr. was to have a really bad game against Auburn, I don't really see a path to victory.
If he had a Mark Sears 2 of 12 shooting night,
they're not going to win.
And he was single digits. They're not winning that game.
Yeah, and the same with Broome, and I know we'll get to these supporting players for those 2 programs in a little bit, but I think it is a little bit different for Houston.
For Houston, I was going to say Uzan. They don't beat Purdue without him. He had 22 in that game, I think, against Purdue. And, Duke's got, and Alabama found this out, Duke's got a lot of length, but Uzan's a bigger guard. So I think that's an interesting matchup in the backcourt there.
Yeah. Watch Jawan Roberts. He is sort of their Chad Baker-Mazara. Like, he's the guy that brings a lot of emotions and attitude. So Roberts is the guy that I think is an X factor for them. Do Duke because it's so hard. Because if you also
it's Knipple, yeah.
I mean, Knipple. You look at him. I don't know, man. I mean, he looks like a really good high school forward. Maybe he just doesn't look like a guy that is going to be a lottery. And he's been He's been evaluated as a lottery guy from the beginning of the season, and he's just getting better.
Yeah.
But it's definitely – now, if you want to talk about the ability to really defend at the rim, then we're talking about the other freshman because that guy dominant defensively.
I've had so many Alabama –
Malawak, right?
Yeah. Malawak. I've had so many Alabama fans say, I just had no idea Malawak was that good and that athletic.
Yeah,
because
7'2" and can move. Yeah.
All you hear about is Cooper Flagg. And I think what Alabama fans are saying – how has Duke had a 7'2" guy all year, and all we hear about is Cooper Flagg? A 7'2" guy
because they've beaten the holy hell out of everyone.
A 7'2" guy is pretty uncommon in college basketball that's that good. But Malawak was, he was a heck of a player. He still is.
He has the wingspan of a 7'6" guy.
Yeah.
So he's in a 7'2" body, but his arms are that of a 7'6" guy. And he is shooting 87% in the NCAA tournament.
Well, and he's just really learning the game. I mean, look, you talk about ceiling. That's one of the, he'll go top 10 just because it ain't no telling what you're getting in the next couple of years.
When Alabama was playing Duke, you were at the game. I bet Lance heard this. Not that this is any secret, but they started the game talking about how big Duke is, and their starting five averages 6'8". And my wife was like, 6'8"? They average 6'8"? I was like, well, yeah, but one of them's 7'2". That's going to skew the average a little bit.
6'8"
but they are big, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing, but one's 7'2".
I would say if you look, and I'm sure we could find this, Jeeves might even know it off the fly, your average NBA team is probably 6'7", 6'8".
That's probably exactly
And that's
right,
what they were saying. They're built like an NBA team. Alabama plays the style of an NBA team, but Duke plays pretty much the style of an NBA team with the size of an NBA team.
Tyrese Proctor.
The average height of an NBA player entering the 2024-2025 season is 6'7".
Wow.
And 215 pounds.
Tyrese Proctor's hit 16 threes, and another guy for them, for the Duke Blue Devils. For Florida, after Walter Clayton Jr., where do you go?
You could say Condon easily.
I was going to say Condon.
I would say Thomas Hawk, though. The Hawk kid, just the way he's played the last couple of games, he's averaging less than 10 a game in the regular season, but he's hitting big threes. He can distribute the basketball. He's become a player, and he's probably become a first-round guy as well. But I could go Condon, too.
Elijah Martin is their second leading scorer, part of that backcourt. And if you're focused on Walter Clayton Jr., if he has a big game, then
But Richard's really good, too. I like all their guards.
Yeah, their guards are good. Auburn's great at guarding the perimeter. They're tougher to guard on the perimeter because they have so many good shooting guards, not just like a Mark Sears who can kill you sometimes. And then there's Auburn, who's the biggest factor other than?
It's Tahad Pettiford coming off the bench. I think he's the best player on the team. I know Broome is maybe going to win Player of the Year, and well-deserved, but I'm just talking about pure talent, what Pettiford can do. Pettiford is one of these guys that if he gets in a zone in San Antonio, he can win this tournament for Auburn. I think he's that good.
You could make an argument with Broome a little bit banged up, Cardwell and Chaney Johnson, how important they're going to be on the inside with him banged up. But, overall, nobody's got the ability to impact this more for Auburn consistently than Pettiford.
Yeah.
Now, Denver Jones, if he gets hot from outside,
Miles
Kelly, if he gets hot from outside.
I think Miles Kelly is going to have a terrific 2 games in the Dome.
Oh, so you base that on what?
Oh, wow, so you've got the dog moving forward. I thought you had Florida win the national championship.
I have Florida winning.
Friendship agreement.
I'm just saying, if they play 2 games,
because I heard you say he's going to have a terrific 2 games.
Yeah, I'm just saying Miles Kelly, who has not been shooting it well, is due to have a great shooting game.
Have you seen the arrangement? Is it because Dalen was talking about the
more Rupp Arena-like than it is a football dome-like.
So what they've started doing on the football is putting the court at the 50 and just doing gently sloped bleachers to it. That's what they did last year out in Phoenix when you were out there. But they did not do that in Indianapolis. They did it in the end zone the way they used to do it in the Final Four.
Correct.
I don't know. So San Antonio's doing it that way, do you think?
I think they are more check the capacity for this Final Four.
I think it's pretty large, but
I think it's 50,000. I don't think it's the complete football layout.
Miles Kelly, the last 3 rounds, if you go back to Creighton, Michigan State, 3 of 18 behind the arc.
Yeah.
And he struggled.
He's due.
He is due.
He's due. And Chad Baker-Mazara, by the way, leads the team in steals he's a big X factor as well.
That's who Scott said. He went with CBM.
Yeah, tell me about it, Scott. Why do you like CBM?
Well, I just think he's got to do more. Dude's had double digits in, I think it was just the Creighton game.
You think we'll see him roll around on the court at all?
There's a chance.
He finds his way to the floor some.
Yeah.
Based on, I'm just looking at the StubHub ticket prices, it is your traditional center of the field alignment. So I don't know
No
what
capacity listed anywhere.
I don't see the capacity, but I'm just looking at the way the seats are set up. It's the mid.
God, I hate those
It's
arenas.
the midfield.
Like, I didn't talk to Taylor. Did you guys talk to her about the setup at State Farm? Like, it looked good on TV, but I'm just wondering, like, that's a basketball arena.
That was a basketball arena. Show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our friend Alexander Shunnarah. Browning.
Yeah, Alexander Shunnarah attorneys. One thing that Alex wanted to do, he's a Birmingham guy. So he wanted to create a firm that handles anything his community face. Well, they handle now not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
Hey, in the New York Butcher Shop, a great place the weekend. A lot of people start celebrating on a Thursday. Stop in, pick up a couple of fillets on your way home. Some of those delicious sides from the baked beans, the goat cheese, mashed potatoes, the mac and cheese, everything made fresh in-house. They've also got huge deli sandwiches for lunch or dinner. Fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. Get and see Jim, his great staffs. 2 locations, original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone as well. Rare quality, well-done service. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
He made his decision pretty quickly yesterday. Chris Beard staying at Ole Miss, and he gets a raise and more NIL money. Went to the Sweet 16. That's the first time since 2001 Ole Miss has been to the Sweet 16. Only 10 NCAA tournament appearances ever. I don't think they've ever gone to the Elite Eight.
I think you're correct.
So Chris Beard is staying at Ole Miss despite, as Pete Thamel put it, discussions with Texas A&M. He'd engaged in significant discussions with Texas A&M, but he ultimately decided to stay at Ole Miss. He's set to receive a raise, more resources for staff, and a strong NIL package.
I mean, good for Chris Beard. And you guys, do you believe there is something to this?
I do, Lance, and I'm not willing to make it just a blanket statement because Chris Beard said no. I'm assuming this. I interrupted you. I'm assuming this is the question you're going to ask. I think this speaks volumes about Texas A&M's program. Is that what you were asking?
No, but that's another way to take it.
All right,
I was
you
going to
asked
say
what you were going to ask.
To me, this is almost a similar path to Bruce Pearl. The redemption story, Bruce was given a second chance by Auburn. Chris Beard was as well at Ole Miss. Bruce had other opportunities to leave. He was loyal to Auburn. Bruce has done things we've never seen at Auburn. I think Beard looks at that. He wants to be loyal, and he probably believes with the resources he's got in Oxford, he can do something that's never been done there before. Now, would I have taken the A&M job on the surface? Yes, but back to your point, there's got to be something going on there.
I think it says 2 things, Jim. I think, number one, it says we're in a different world in college athletics. Ole Miss, like we talk a lot about what Bruce Pearl has done at Auburn. And before Bruce Pearl got there, you could argue Auburn was the worst basketball program in the Southeastern Conference. History. If it wasn't Auburn, it was Ole Miss. I mean, those are the 2 you would argue about. The long historic programs. Maybe South Carolina factors into that, but it's in that discussion. To see a guy like that go and take that job and keep that job, I think it tells you where we are in sport, in the world of college sports, that he realizes with NIL, I can win at Ole Miss just as easy as I can win at a lot of places. Apparently just as easy as I can win at Texas A&M. But I think it's interesting that a guy that has coached at Texas Tech and Texas probably had a fairly large blank check at Texas A&M and chose not to go. If I'm an A&M fan, I look at that and I wonder why. And again, you know how I feel about the A&M athletics program. I think it's one of the most fascinating in all of college sports because they got every resource you could possibly want, all the fan support you could possibly want, and they win nothing of note in any of their major sports.
But if this is Chris Jans turning it down, I think it does feel different. I would agree with you 100%. But there could be the Chris Beard loyalty thing because he's only been there a couple of years.
Yeah, so we'll see how long Beard stays there, but a new contract coming and more NIL money, which only makes the SEC tougher. Makes the job that everyone from Bruce Pearl to Nate Oates all the way down to Mark Pope And
you know, it'd be fascinating.
McMahon at LSU's even got NIL money. It's so hard now in this league.
If you talk to Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates off record, and those guys are going to be around for a while, if you were like, where is Chris Beard the most dangerous? Like, where do you fear him the most in the league? In Oxford or College Station?
College Station.
That would tell us a lot, though, about that job.
But I mean, there's something about that job. I'll wait and see who they get. I mean, A&M may go get a home run higher, and then I'll say, okay, obviously I'm wrong, but as of right now, if you can't get Chris Beard, I start to worry about that.
Our show being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors, our friends at Bojangles. Coming up in the next segment, the Field of 68, our friends there do a great basketball podcast. They got 4 burning questions for the Final Four. I'll ask the questions to these guys. They'll give the answer. And we will do, LT wanted it yesterday, an NFL version of our Instagram blind rankings.
All right.
So we'll do an NFL version of that, all coming up in the next segment. Tell us about Bojangles.
There'll be some tough choices there, but an easy choice. What you order for lunch today? It's Bojangles Bites. Bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from the 6 dipping sauces, one for every craving, from the creamy house-made ranch to the sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you are in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today. Discover the dippable, shareable, craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
Hey, if you want to make sure that AC is up and running the correct way with temperatures hitting in the 80s, you need to call our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience any of these issues in your home or business, plumbing, heating, or cooling, trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
It's Bo time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's Bo time.
The biggest and baddest track in NASCAR is Talladega Superspeedway, and it's ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been to the Talladega Superspeedway, you have to check it out. This beast is 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every single turn. Don't miss the Jack Links 500 NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Don't miss the action. TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, hey, there was a trade earlier today before we get into some NFL conversation a little bit later on this half hour. The Dallas Cowboys pick up Joe Milton and a 7th-round draft pick, and they give the Patriots a 5th-round draft pick for the upcoming draft. I assume this will be the backup to Dak Prescott, right?
Yeah.
Joe Milton.
Cooper Rush just got too expensive.
Yeah.
And it puts the nail in Trey Lance's coffin, I would assume. I mean, don't you guys assume that career is over, which, I mean, am I wrong about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he'll end up a backup somewhere.
I mean, but as of right now, Trey Lance is in the discussion one of the biggest busts in the history of the NFL, is he not?
Yeah,
he was the number 3 pick.
And just the domino effect on him going to San Francisco and things that could have happened.
Yeah, so I would assume, yes, Jim, you're right. Joe Milton's your backup to Dak.
The scary thing with that, and look, Milton's, got some potential. He's obviously got a huge arm. But if you're a Cowboys fan, you expect, much like you being a Dolphins fan, that Dak's going to miss time, right?
I mean, he does every year.
Yeah. So you expect that Joe Milton's going to start a game, 2, 3 games, and to me, that doesn't bode well for the Cowboys.
All right. Back to college basketball here in just a second after we remind you the show is being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Get the big to-go order and take it home to watch Auburn in the Final Four on Saturday for dinner. You just snack on that throughout the doubleheader that starts at 5 o'clock with Florida and Auburn. All the great fun throughout the weekend, throughout the spring, throughout the summer on Highway 119 in Alabaster. It is Champy's Chicken. Sterling is the absolute best. His customer service, his attention to detail, the brined overnight, cooked to order, never under a heat lamp fried chicken, all the great sides, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, which is the best tamale recipe with a little heat to them. It is so good. It is Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com, proud sponsor of the final hour of the next round here on the show. Just to catch you up, Auburn got a big portal pickup last night in Keyshawn Hall from UCF. He led the Big 12 in scoring. He's a 6'7" wing player that'll help Auburn next year. But it's all about the here and now with Auburn. Yesterday they left and landed from Auburn to San Antonio, where tomorrow they will practice inside the Alamo Dome with the other teams in an open practice. Fans, if you're flying there today, you'll be able to get there and watch it. And it's an open practice inside the Dome. It is my favorite part of the Final Four is that open practice on the Friday before the doubleheader on Saturday. Taylor Korn is there. Our coverage this afternoon at Next Round Live on all social media platforms cranks up a little bit later on this afternoon. Kelvin Sampson, interesting story, being back in San Antonio. Remember when he got fired at Indiana? He got fired, he said, at 11:30 in the morning.
That was an NCAA thing.
NCAA violation, ironically, for just calling recruits outside of the window when you could call recruits. So basically it was a cell phone that got Kelvin Sampson fired at Indiana.
We'll look back on some of these firings in
Yes.
20 years, and people will be like, they really fired guys for that then?
He was, this was 2008. He was unemployed, he said, from 11:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m.
That's how quick he had the Houston job?
No. He was hired that quickly by Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs. 11:30 a.m. on a Friday. By 3 p.m., Pop had called him up and said, we want to hire you. You name your title. They had become friends when they were working with FIBA basketball, international basketball for Team USA. Under who was the guy who used to coach the Utah Jazz back in the day?
Jerry Sloan.
Okay, the Denver Nuggets back in the day then?
George Karl.
George Karl. They were a George Karl assistant.
Bullets.
Yeah, they were a George Karl assistant on the FIBA team. Young Kelvin Sampson and Pop became good friends. And he saw the news on the ticker that I'd been fired. And he said he called me up instantly and said, we're hiring you. You name your title. And he was there the next day in San Antonio. So he says, I love San Antonio. Glad to be back here because it's a full circle moment for me. I thought maybe my coaching career at the high level was over with.
Yeah.
And Pop got me back, and he goes, I learned more basketball during that time with Greg Popovich and the NBA players, including like how to guard the pick and roll. He's like, I thought there was just one way to guard the pick and roll. And I sat down in my first meeting, and all these guys are discussing, we were doing a game plan, and the players were having input into the game plan, and all this was going on. He goes, I changed my total way of coaching from that one meeting, game planning, on how to guard the pick and roll. I just pulled out my notebook and started taking notes, but also how you have the players interact in the game planning, and you just have a discussion, open discussion on how we're going to guard everybody. I changed my whole philosophy of coaching from that one meeting with Pop and the Spurs.
I mean, that's pretty remarkable because I would have thought, I mean, if I tell you best defensive coach in all of college basketball, you'd probably say Kelvin Sampson. When you maybe Rick Barnes.
Rick Barnes would be right there. Yeah.
He'd be right there. But Kelvin Sampson's in the discussion. The fact that he had to learn defense is pretty remarkable.
Well, you think about this, is a guy that has been coach of the year for the Pac-12.
Washington State?
Yeah. Coach of the year for the Big 8.
Which is Oklahoma.
Yeah. The Big 12 now.
In Houston?
Yeah, the AAC, Houston. Yeah.
I mean, he did not win it in Indiana, right?
Yeah. He's been to he's been to 3 different Final Fours. I mean, this guy has won everywhere he's been. And, you know, if you're pulling for guys that have really just grinded it out, him or Bruce, I mean, those are the guys you want to win a championship.
Yeah, and it's fair to wonder with those two if this is their last good shot. I mean, I never thought I'd see Auburn in 2 Final Fours, so why not 3?
I do feel like Houston's got, I don't want to say more staying power. They've got an easier road with the Big 12.
Well, I mean, they've been there consistently, yeah.
There's going to be, the roster flip for Auburn this year is going to be pretty tremendous.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a fair, like... I mean,
and by the way, Houston lost their best player. And look where they are right now.
What's the closest Sampson is? He's never coached in the national championship game, has he?
Yeah, I think no.
They've never been the runner
because they were in the Final Four. His first Final Four was with Oklahoma, and it's when Mike Davis was coaching Indiana, and Indiana ended up losing to Gary Williams in Maryland.
Okay, so he made the Final Four, then that's it, semifinals,
and then semifinals again 2 years ago with Houston.
Yeah.
So he's never played for it.
Yeah, and Bruce has never played for it, and obviously Shire and Golden have not. I mean, so that shows you. So Bruce Pearl has won, 700 some odd games. I don't know what Bruce's win total. Kelvin's probably won 700 some odd games, and these guys have never even coached for a national championship.
Yeah, Kelvin's won 797 games.
Okay, and Bruce is probably somewhere near that. He's probably a little bit less than Kelvin Sampson.
I think maybe the most impressive thing, he's got the all-time winningest win percentage in Oklahoma basketball history.
Kelvin Sampson does.
Yeah. And I would have thought Billy Tubbs.
And even Lon Kruger had some good years.
And he won 72% of his games there.
72, huh?
By the way, the Cougars have won 32 games in 4 straight years.
Yeah, I mean, he's built a.
They've won 78% of their games.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
He won 74% of the games in Indiana. I mean, he's gotten better every stop, percentage-wise.
Houston's probably the most consistent program of the last 5 years. They're the same thing every year, it seems like.
That was the first of the 4 burning questions from our friends at the Field of 68. Go watch their podcast. Kelvin Sampson's last chance for a title. You guys just discussed that. We'll discuss the other 3 after you tell us about our friends at Odie's, LT.
So last night, the question, which came first, Zach Bryan or the movie Forrest Gump?
The singer Zach Bryan or the movie Forrest Gump? Boy, I feel like the movie Forrest Gump was 1994 in my head.
Boom, good job.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
that is. That. Zach Bryan celebrated a birthday yesterday. We talked about it on the show.
I feel like he is 32. And you probably said it on the show yesterday, and I don't remember it. So 25.
32 would put him at 93 if you believe that's the number.
Yeah, I believe it is 32. So 93, I'm going to say Zach Bryan is 1 year older than Forrest Gump.
Zach Bryan actually 28 yesterday, 1996. Okay. Forrest Gump came before.
Oh.
Some of the little things you learn at Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every single Wednesday night. The original location at Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Live music on Fridays and Saturday nights, both location. Incredible food from Rodney Davis at both locations all the time for lunch or dinner. Stop in, get you one of those great wraps, the Diablo sandwich, fantastic wings and burgers, ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. It's a Birmingham institution. It's Odie's Tavern.
The Duke question of the 4 burning questions from the Field of 68 is how much pressure is on Cooper Flagg? So we've seen players in the past.
Yeah.
Did Anthony Davis win the championship at Kentucky?
Yes,
he did. So he was sort of the face of the.
Zion went out in the round of 16.
Zion didn't handle it. Davis handled it. I mean, there are certain guys who get talked about, and I know it's a Johni Broome, Cooper Flagg discussion on National Player of the Year. Johni Broome of Auburn, Cooper Flagg of Duke. And I think it should be Johni Broome for the schedule and everything that he played. But Cooper Flagg has been sort of the face of this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think for Cooper Flagg, it's a one-and-done situation. And if you want to go down as one of the great Duke players, and it's hard to do in one season. I mean, you guys know that. But if they were to win a national championship, he's going to be more than likely your most outstanding player. So this would cement a legacy. But, the other side of the coin is, how much pressure is really on him? He stays healthy. He's going to be number 1 overall. So, his future is so bright.
Yeah, if Cooper Flagg goes to the NBA and has a Steph Curry-like career, as far as championships go, not the best three-point shooter of all time, but championships, I don't think people will say, yeah, but he didn't win one at Duke. I think so much your professional career is going to...
Like Kevin Durant, nobody talks about... that was a one-and-done situation at Texas. They won 1 game in the tournament.
When we bring that
Kevin
up,
Durant is one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, when we bring that up as a criticism of Rick Barnes, not of Kevin Durant. We're like, Durant, Rick Barnes had Kevin Durant, and he couldn't advance in the tournament.
But Anthony Davis did it. They point out at Field of 68. Carmelo Anthony was a one-and-done, and he carried not a great Syracuse team to a national championship.
He drugged them to a championship.
Yeah. By the way, Carmelo Anthony is just yesterday found out he's being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
It's going to be a little trophy. You've seen the commercial already, right?
Yeah. Well deserved. Carmelo, one of those guys that I believed, his last championship was going to be at Syracuse, and it was, but still a tremendous player.
Yeah, 3-time gold medalist, a lot of points, no championships there. I think Tyus Jones was a champion. Was he a first overall pick, high pick?
I thought Tyus, he was a lottery guy, but I thought Tyus won a championship in 14-15 with Duke.
Back-to-back, right?
No, that year of 14-15.
Yeah, he did in 15. Yeah. So pressure on Cooper Flagg, it could be real. But Alabama, I think, took him out of the game second half for 13 minutes, and it didn't help them. So he's got a lot of parts. That gets you to the Florida question. They ask, is Florida, at least their version in the NCAA tournament, have they become too reliant on Walter Clayton Jr.?
Well, it
looked like it against Texas Tech.
I was about to say they weren't against Texas Tech. They had to be relying on him. Is Duke too reliant on Cooper Flagg? I don't know. So what are you supposed to do? Say like, well, I think Walter Clayton could hit 3 straight shots, but let's don't give it to him 3 times.
Yeah, I mean it would be the same question if Alabama was in this situation with Sears, right?
Yeah, but if Sears is scoring 35 a game, all right, you're too reliant on him. He scored 35 points.
Yeah, but I do think, well, Brown, I don't think it's one particular game. I'm talking about in all the games now. Are they going through Walter Clayton Jr.? Yes, you do that, but other guys have to step up if you're going to be the best version of yourself. Like Alabama, when they had the 25 three-pointers, Mark Sears got his, but you had Youngblood, but really Holloway that were throwing them in the ocean too. So it can't be a one-man show.
Yeah.
And I mean, so the question, do you think when they're at their best, you got Martin who's hitting it, you're going inside to Condon, those lob passes that they kicked Alabama's butt with?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously Clayton is the engine that drives it, but I just don't view them as it's Clayton and everyone else. Like, going back to Carmelo Anthony, when was the last time we saw somebody, I'll go back to Shabazz Napier, I brought this up with UConn, he absolutely carried that team, but was that the last time like one individual really carried a team? Like, I remember
Purvis Ellison
Glenn
did it,
Rice,
yeah.
Purvis Ellison did it, Glenn Rice did it, Danny Manning did it, Carmelo Anthony did it. You just don't really see that today.
You're right. I don't know why. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why you don't see it, because you would say, well, it's easier to build great teams now. Coach K was building some great teams back then too.
Yeah.
So was North Carolina. I mean, those teams, those tournaments had great teams like that in it.
I guess they are making it sound like we're treating Walter Clayton Jr. of Florida now like he's Larry Bird, and every trip down it's going to be 1-on-4.
Florida's Indiana State.
Can he be 4 defenders and get a shot up? The Auburn question is about Johni Broome's health, and I think everything's been positive on Broome's health, but pain management probably is going to be, and they make a point of this. They will roll a wave of big men that'll make it a long day for Broome when it comes to pain management. That if he's got any painful part of his body, they will bang on him all day long.
As they should.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just strategy. I'd 100% do it, especially if I'm not going to get called. And I think you've seen in this tournament, I think they've allowed more physical play. Wouldn't you say that overall?
I think so a little bit.
They always do. They always do.
Yeah.
I liked Michigan State plus the 5.5. I know it came down to the number. I didn't think they'd win the game. I was trying to thread that needle. But I thought Michigan State would try to get under the skin of Chad Baker. It's just the way they play. They're so physical. And we really haven't seen a team do that to Chad Baker yet.
By the way, some of this is style of play now, but I was talking to a good friend of all of ours that's Sanford, one of the assistants for Bucky at Sanford yesterday. And I said, just out of curiosity, I was like, did y'all have a 3-second call in any of your games this year? He goes, not one.
Not one.
And I was like, when is the last time you've seen 3 seconds
I saw
called?
one this past weekend.
Did you really?
I did,
in a college game?
In a college game. I forgot which one it was. But you're right, you never see them.
He said in our games, the under-the-basket official will stand there and yell, get out of the lane, get out of the lane. But he said it'll go 5-6 seconds.
Yeah.
Him yelling at it just so they don't have to call it. I guess they've been told not to call it anymore.
All right, that's a little Final Four discussion. Little T has landed in San Antonio. Her coverage cranks up this afternoon at Next Round Live. You can enjoy that there. Brought to you by our friends at Culver's. Welcome to Delicious, all the great locations of Culver's all over America. All right, let's do our NFL blind rankings, 1 through 7, if you will, on the board, please. 1 through 7.
Yes, sir.
If you will, on the board. We're going to take Andy Reid out of this conversation, because he would be everybody's number one of the success he's had. This will be power rankings going into the 2025 season of NFL coaches. Power rankings 2025, who are the best coaches in the NFL. And I'll go John Harbaugh first, because just this week he gets a 3-year extension with the Baltimore Ravens. I think John Harbaugh is an elite coach. So 1 through 7, taking Andy Reid out of the conversation, where do you put John Harbaugh?
I put him number 2. I'm going to hold number 1 just in case. I would have no problem with Harbaugh being number 1. It's one of the most consistent products in the NFL. The Ravens are in the hunt for that division in the playoffs every single season, and they do it the same way every year. People can't stop it. So
I've got him at 3. I do think he's a really good coach. He's obviously won a Super Bowl. But it is so fascinating that Lamar Jackson can't make deep runs in the postseason. You've got a tremendous regular season quarterback. I don't know how much this reflects on the head coach, but he's got to take some of the blame. So I've got Harbaugh at 3. You know where I'm holding out on 1 for.
Baby Belichick.
I'm sure Brown is too, so I'll go ahead and put Sean McVay out there, Sean McVay, so that you guys can match your cards.
I mean, it was a rebuild year, and really they were the second best team, I thought, in the NFL. I've got McVay number 1.
Could have easily beaten Philadelphia, and if you beat Philadelphia, Lance, you might be the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, and you went to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff without one of your best players in Cooper Kupp, and the offense got stymied. They only scored 3 points, but then you get back with a different quarterback in Matthew Stafford. By the way, he's won playoff games with 3 different quarterbacks, including John Wolford. I just think Sean McVay's tremendous coach.
Don't disagree. We give you a lot of grief for it, but I agree 100%.
Where do you put Jim Harbaugh on this 1 to 7 blind ranking?
I'm going to put him 5th, Lance.
I'm putting him at 4, right behind Big Brother. And I think this year is going to be – I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Chargers make a run to the Super Bowl this year.
Another quarterback, though. You mentioned Lamar Jackson. You could say the same exact thing about his
But that was
quarterback.
Harbaugh's first year. And you got to think about his best weapon was a rookie wide receiver that nobody really thought was going to be a factor at all. Now they're going to go out and add other parts. I think the Chargers are going to be better this year. I wouldn't be shocked if they win the AFC West with Kansas City and Pat Mahomes there.
I believe they will open the year in Brazil.
You're projecting that, or you've read that?
Either I read it or projecting that, one of the two.
All right.
San Paulo, isn't that where the Eagles also started the season last year? They went on to win the Super Bowl?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm just saying that maybe a new trend.
It's the portal to the Super Bowl.
Sean McDermott.
I'm going to put him in front of Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to leave 3rd open. Obviously, they are 6 out of you?
Yeah.
Obviously, they are a regular season juggernaut. I mean, it is. The Bills they run that division now. They're always in the playoffs. It feels like they're always a 1 or 2 seed, but what can they never do? Make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and you've got, Josh Allen last year, I thought he was the best player in football. And you weren't able to get to another Super Bowl. Look, they've been starving that fan base. I think McDermott's a good coach. All these guys are really good coaches. I don't know where you've got the next 3 coming from, but I'm going to put McDermott at 6 just because no postseason success.
Next up, Kevin O'Connell, Vikings.
I'm going to put him 6 behind Jim Harbaugh. I would rather flip this. The guy does nothing but win with whatever quarterback you give him, yet it hasn't been delivered yet in the postseason enough for me to put him higher than 6th.
Well, just because I don't think he's had an elite quarterback. He's had Kirk Cousins and he's had Sam Darnold. And if he ever gets a hold of an elite quarterback, and maybe he believes J.J. McCarthy's going to be that guy, and maybe Aaron Rodgers ends up still going there, but I've got him at 5th. I think he will do nothing but ascend. And by the way, under the tree of Sean McVay, former offensive coordinator.
Dan Campbell, Lions.
I know where Lance is going to put him. I can't put him 3rd, which is the only other spot I have open, so I'm going to put him 7th.
Yeah, this is probably not deserved, but
yeah.
Look, a lot of fire and brimstone. I think the players love him.
You've got number 2 open, which would mean he's the 3rd best coach in the NFL. You can't put him there. I've got 3, which means the 4th best. I can't put him there.
Yeah, and actually, all these coaches I would take over Dan Campbell.
But that's what I was about to say.
I really would.
If Tampa came open today, and I said, pick off this list that you've already got, Jim. I've got 1 spot open. Tampa's open today. You can't tell me you wouldn't put Dan Campbell 7th. You pick all those guys in front of him, wouldn't you?
Do I get to bring his front office with him?
No.
I'm just talking about the head coach.
Just as the head coach.
I would probably have him 7th.
You would.
Yeah. Look, the touch of gold has been Brad Holmes, another Rams disciple.
Nick Sirianni is the last guy on the list.
I'm not a huge fan,
I'm
but
not either.
The guy's done nothing but win. He's got a world championship.
Yeah. I painted you into a corner.
You did, but Lance, let's just real quick here. Let's just go rings. Who's got the rings on this list?
McVay, Harbaugh, and Sirianni.
There you go. 1, 2, and 3 for me.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, and 3 for me too. But I would have him over McDermott, O'Connell. I actually would only have maybe John Harbaugh over him. So that's about right.
Yeah. I kind of like
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of like my ranking here.
Yeah,
Jim.
I don't mind mine.
And again, that's everybody other than Andy Reid, who I don't know if LT would.
No, I would have. I mean, just based on the fact of what he did at Philadelphia, then to Kansas City. I know he's doing it with maybe the greatest we've ever seen right now, but you got to give him his props. I probably would say Andy Reid is the best right now, with Sean McVay a close.
Give him his flowers.
You didn't even put Kyle Shanahan out there.
I did not. I mean, the whole league. I could have thrown a bunch of stuff out there.
See, I would have Shanahan, and I'm going to contradict myself. He can't win the big game.
He cannot.
But boy, man, I think he is just a hell of a coach. I probably would have had him second.
I didn't put Sean Payton out there. Sean Payton.
I thought you were going to.
Was in the playoffs.
This
past year.
And has a ring.
Yeah, and I will say, and I've always been kind of negative when it comes to Sean Payton. What he did with a rookie quarterback this year was tremendous.
Yeah. Hey, and that old cat from the Commanders coached that team up this year.
Yeah,
Quinn can coach.
Dan Quinn. I mean, he had a Super Bowl in his back pocket and let it go.
It's almost like the top level of football has some of the top level coaches. I had to keep the list that fit on the dry erase board. All right, when we come back, we'll do our trash today and continue to set the table for basketball going on this weekend in San Antonio. NASCAR bringing you part of the show. What?
Just real quick before you interrupt, because I saw our buddy Dan Orlovsky. Did y'all see yesterday him on NFL Live? Have you seen the video?
No, with his son.
With his son.
I hadn't seen it.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. What's the back?
It was National Autism Day, and his son. He's mentioned this on the show with us before. His son's autistic, and he had him on the show, and they were letting him do funny things like draw Marcus Spears, draw Laura Rutledge. And, man, I'm going to get kind of choked. I didn't know I was going to get choked up talking about this. But he said his favorite movie was Toy Story. So they're like, draw a character from Toy Story. So he draws Woody, and he holds it up, and he starts singing You Got a Friend in Me.
Oh, my goodness.
Not a try in the studio.
Wow.
I mean, Orlovsky gets teared up. They cut to, like, Laura Rutledge's got to go to break, and she's wiping. I mean, she's just wiping her eyes like that. It was so cool, man. And to see the pride on Dan's face and his son doing that, that's what was so cool about it, too. What was NASCAR? Is that what I was supposed to say, Jim? I'm sorry.
But on the McAfee shows, while Brown's talking about this, Orlovsky's there. They got the drawing up behind him there.
Yeah, it's a cool. Go watch the video. It's cool, man.
I had a moment like that this past weekend. Did I bring up Jack's speech?
You did not.
Yeah, you did. You did on the air.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
Okay.
At the funeral. But, but you do it again. I'm not saying
I didn't know
again.
if I did or didn't.
Yeah.
No, but my 17-year-old son was part of the eulogy for his grandfather, Julian, who passed away at 69. Great man. But Jack went up there after Julian's nephews, 2 nephews in their 40s, his son Mac. They all did a tremendous job. But Jack went up there, the only one with no notes, and absolutely crushed.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect, like, I knew he was going to talk, and I was like, just go from the heart. I had
that's
no
what
idea.
surprised me because you'd said that other people were saying take notes.
Yeah. His sister Leighton was like, "You got to take notes," and I was like, "You've seen Wedding Crashers, right?" Rachel McAdams, Owen Wilson tells her, "You got to go from the heart," and so he did it. And like, I didn't expect it. I was so overwhelmed, and I was bawling. And then, from what I hear, my buddy Kenny Baker next to me, he starts bawling, and people behind me because they were looking at me.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to do this, and it was only like 5 minutes that he was up there, but I think there's something about one of your kids in just certain moments, you don't know how proud they're going to make you.
Yeah, because you're stressed out for them because you know what a stressful situation is.
You go up in front of 200 people at a funeral with no notes, and he goes into this multiple incredible stories about, how we used to play war ball and dodgeball, and now it's become hero ball. And he told this story to his grandfather who has to put down his wine, and he's like, Jesus Christ, are you serious? Our society's this off. He tells the whole story, and then he talks about this arm wrestling story, and just everything, it all came together, and it was a magical moment that I think everybody there appreciated. I know his grandfather, looking down on him, appreciated, but it sent me into this emotional spin because you're always proud of your kids, but it was a next level moment for me. I have never been that proud in my life.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, not to take away from Dan and what his kid did.
No,
it's
exactly the same. Yeah. I mean, and just to see Dan's pride on his face, and then he gets emotional, and Laura Rutledge is crying. Go watch the video. It's really, really cool. All right, the biggest and baddest track in NASCAR, Talladega Super Speedway, ready to put on another amazing show in April. If you've never been there and you've lived in Alabama any amount of time, you are cheating yourself. It's 2.5 miles of nothing but pure speed and incredible action at every turn. The Jack Links 500 NASCAR Weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 25th through 27th. Get your tickets now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That's TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
If you are a business that does a lot of printing, like a car dealership, mortgage company, real estate office, tax office, bank, school, or university, print more and spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft is located at 1151 Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, and online at imagecraft.net. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. Shop in-store, mention TNR for a 10% discount. Shop online at imagecraft.net with coupon code TNR10. ImageCraft. Print more, spend less.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round. Final Four action coming up this weekend with Auburn there. Everyone's excited about that. The SEC coming off an amazing year in basketball. And they're having a historic year already in college baseball, which is not surprising. But even for them, it is pretty crazy right now that 8 of the top 10 teams in college baseball in the latest rankings are from the SEC. You can watch number 7 LSU at number 10 Oklahoma tonight at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. But Tennessee is 1, Arkansas is 2, Georgia is 3, Florida State, boo, 4, Texas is 5, Clemson, boo, 6, LSU is 7, Alabama is 8, Ole Miss is 9, Oklahoma is 10, Auburn is 16, and Vandy is 23. So
Wow.
you've got 10 ranked, but 8 of the top 10 are the SEC. By the way, Troy is 20th.
Where we are right now in the SEC, would you say that basketball and baseball have moved in front of football? I mean, I know it sounds insane, but I mean, just based on the numbers, they had to, right?
Of the dominance, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the equivalent of having 8 top 10 teams in baseball would be in football, but I would say 5 of the top 10,
I mean,
6 of the top 10.
Football, you really weren't close to winning a national championship this year?
Really, the last 2 years.
I mean, Alabama was in overtime against Michigan, who eventually won it. So,
okay. No, this year you had.
This year absolutely right.
But you had a semifinalist this year in Texas.
Did you ever think we would go 2 years without one team playing for the national championship?
No, I did not. No. I have to admit I did not. Especially when they expanded the playoffs. I thought
and it really doesn't surprise me that baseball could overtake it. I mean, the surprising thing is basketball, where basketball is right now.
I agree with you on that.
Golden State and the Lakers tonight, 9 o'clock TNT. Both those teams surging towards the playoff. And Alex Ovechkin scored a goal last night, so now it can be any game.
Yeah, because he needs 3, right?
He needs 3, so a hat trick happens not often, but occasionally.
Boy, that'd be a way to cap it off.
So he's 3 away from breaking the record of Wayne Gretzky, so it can happen any night there. That little non-basketball, non-college football update brought to you by our friends at Lake Fest.
15th Annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst. It is May 9 through 11. Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is absolutely free. It is Bama's biggest in-boat water show. In-water boat show, not an in-boat water. That's bad news if you get water in your boat. In-water boat show, 80 boats, vehicles on display, lake lifestyle vendors, food trucks, beer garden, live music all weekend, tons of giveaways. Don't forget the fireworks on Friday that honors our great United States veterans. Mermaids and Mateys Parade on Saturday. Free mimosas for Mom on Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. And for the first time in the 15-year history of Lake Fest, AmFirst offering a 0.5% off interest rates. That could save you up to $100 a month and as much as $12,000 over the life of the loan. See more, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
By the way, 18 games in the NFL. The commissioner is for it. The owners are for it. The broadcast partners are for it. The players are not for it.
Yeah, we're for it, though, right?
Yeah, the fans are for it. But the new bargaining agreement coming up, they think we'll have an 18-game regular season schedule for the 2027 season.
Put me in that room, and these players need to realize they're going to be a part of American history, because if we get that 18th game, then we will get the national holiday the day after the Super Bowl. The calendar will just fall right in,
and it falls right to what is that? President's Day.
President's Day. Yeah, if you just push it forward and don't push it back, which I think they would. Yeah, it's President's Day.
Yeah, and so I mean, everybody gets everything they want, because not only do we get an extra game to watch our team, but we legitimately, now we wouldn't, but 99% of America gets a day off after a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think LT just told us he's taking Monday after Super Bowl off.
I just said we wouldn't.
If the Rams are in it. If the Rams are in it,
if the Rams are in it, there's no chance.
The football playoffs could be changing. The commissioners are meeting today in Dallas. The most immediate thing they want to bang out is the 2025 seeding process. It would need unanimous vote of all the people in the room there in Dallas today. If they get that, there's likely compromises that will help the future of the playoffs, but that's on your radar. Keep an eye on that happening in Dallas today. And Mike Gundy yesterday, when he was asked at Oklahoma State spring drills, was asked about the ruling of the NCAA not allowing Syracuse and Colorado to play each other in the spring game. He said, to be honest with you, I brought up the Oklahoma idea. What if we just go do it? What can the NCAA really do
thought about
to us?
that.
I almost said it on the show when we were talking about it, is like, what would the penalty actually even be?
Yeah.
Like, what could the NCAA is so powerless right now.
And if you got more guys like Mike Gundy, I guarantee all these coaches would get on board and be like, middle finger to the NCAA.
Yeah.
He asked the question. He goes, I've learned now that we have fewer and fewer rules. And he actually said, I don't even pay attention to them anymore. Gus, who's in charge? What are they going to do to us?
Yeah, I would agree 100%
What are they going to do?
I love that attitude. Do you guys think, if you just said moving forward, will Mike Gundy ever be in a college football playoff?
Yes.
I'd bet against it.
I say yes.
I mean, if he's there 5 more years, I think he'll win the Big 12.
He's going to have to, because it's probably a 1-bid. Well, no, soon it'll probably be a 2-bid league, I guess, right? And an expanded playoff, it could probably get.
Yeah, actually, I think he'll get there.
I think you'll get there. I said yes first. You guys have now swung around to me.
That's it.
Thank you, Jim.
We swing around to trash now. Tyler, are you ready to hit the big button?
Bag up, Terry. What it reverse, Terry? What it reverse? Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
So I don't know if I'm prepared to try this. I'm never a big fan of the frozen pizza. Like DiGiorno is not delivery, right?
I've got one that I'd like for you to try and see what your thought is.
I will tell you this. During the pandemic, because I was going to the place that has a $2 line, they had a believe it or not, a cauliflower frozen pizza. And it actually was pretty good. Now, you had to put a little extra cheese on it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. But Cheez-It has got a new pizza out there.
I don't know about this.
Now, there's a popular food blogger, Marky_Devo, took to Instagram March 31st to let his followers know about the new product launch, writing, quote, Cheez-It is reaching God, all caps mode, with the release of the Cheez-It pizza. I'm sure he's not paid under the table by Cheez-It, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, there's no way he's getting anything out of this.
Now, he continued noting Cheez-It pizza features original Cheez-It flavored cracker thin crust with 100% real cheese. Doubt that. The pizza is ready after baking it for 8 to 10 minutes. The influencer posted images of the 3 flavors, the Italian 4 cheese, pepperoni, and the Cheddar Jack Supreme, which features Italian sausage, pepperoni, green and red peppers, black olives, onions, yellow cheddar, and Monterey Jack cheese. Though the Foodstagrammer didn't have details on retailers who will have the product, he stated that it is, quote, heading to major stores soon. I would try this.
Yeah, can you zoom in on the bottom one, Tyler?
I mean,
that's the best looking one.
I would take this one down.
That actually looks pretty good.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah. I like thin crust.
I just find it hard to believe it's going to look like that when you pull it out of the oven.
I don't disagree with you. I like a thin, crunchy crust. I think that's what you're going to get here.
Thin, crunchy is the only way to go, really.
Yeah.
And it only bakes in 10 minutes.
Well,
a lot of those other frozen pizzas take 18 20 minutes.
Yeah, 18 is pretty standard.
Yeah, God, I want to rush that great tasting frozen pizza, so please give it to me 8 minutes faster.
Don't know why you try it, right?
Well, you know, if you're eating a Cheez-It pizza, like, you're not looking for, like...
You know what? I don't have dinner plans tonight.
Flavor profile that's complex.
You going to get one?
I don't think they're out yet. If they were out, I would do some good ranch on the side with the Cheddar Jack Supreme.
All right.
I'm here.
Now, that means I would have to actually bake it, but...
Yeah, that 10 minutes out of your life.
Well, you got to preheat the oven too. 12.
Yeah.
I just leave it out on the counter. It'll be ready for you when you get home. Chili and Bullet will have it out of the wrapper for you.
I did what you're never supposed to do when I got home from trivia last night, because I texted Brown. He was picking me up, and I was like, how long do I have? He said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And they've got that pasta that only takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So by the time I got it out and everything, Brown had pulled up. So I had to packaged it up. Got home last night, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and ate the biggest bowl of pasta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I bet it was good, though.
It was.
You're not going to believe that I eat this, but Publix has a pizza that is pork, cauliflower sausage, and cranberry.
But is it a Publix brand?
Yeah, it's Publix store brand. Pork, cauliflower sausage, and cranberry. And it's a frozen pizza, and it's actually very good. I like it.
I'm putting that in my notes. I might grab that
I
later
would try
tonight.
it, but how do you run across that? Is it something Jennifer just brings home?
She just brought home one day and said, it sounded interesting. I thought you might like it. And we get it now. We probably...
Cauliflower crust, that's where the cauliflower comes in?
No, it's pork cauliflower sausage. I don't really know,
So
I haven't asked a whole lot of questions.
Oh, wow. So you're going no meat?
No.
Sausage is meat.
Well, I mean, if it's cauliflower sausage.
Yeah, I would think that if it's a cauliflower crust, then they probably also did like a turkey sausage at least.
Pork, cauliflower sausage, cranberries, kale, honey cream, fresh sauce, cream fraiche infused ultra thin crust.
Boy, that seems
Thank you.
So not like you.
Grew up in Calhoun County. No, I agree 100%. It's way off brand for me, but I like it.
I just want to know. So were you saying cauliflower sausage or cauliflower sausage?
It's cauliflower sausage. So I think it's cauliflower sausage. Yeah. I'm not sure
so
I'm getting real sausage.
It's cauliflower made to taste like
Correct.
sausage.
Right. Yeah. So you're eating plant.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And you've always said no meat, no meal.
I agree with you, Lance. I'm not arguing.
Okay, where are you guys on people not picking up the dog shit when it's If your
when
dog
it's in my
shits,
yard,
it's littering. It's littering. It should be
okay.
penalized.
Well, you give me this. So you know the dog park I go to.
Yes.
And so most of it, you've got trails, which I'll walk with the dogs, and they play with the other dogs, and there's AstroTurf. If they go into the natural area where there's just a ton of trees and sticks, I'm not picking up their shit there. I pick it up when it's on the path, or it's on any concrete, it's on the AstroTurf.
Oh, but any grass area in a park.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying if you go into the natural park, if they're in the woods, you're not going to venture 20 yards into.
Here's my thinking
there's no
there.
humans there.
Well, my thinking there is normal animals come and poop there.
Yeah.
So why am I going to clean up my dog crap? That's where a dog is supposed to.
Well,
crap.
my thought is humans aren't going to walk there.
Yeah,
so.
that too.
But if you're like, say, there's a park called Veterans Park. If anywhere in the grassy area where there's frisbee and kicking soccer balls, you got to pick it up.
Got to pick it up. So we've got an interesting situation reportedly been unfolding in Colorado's mountainous Summit County in recent days and weeks, believed to involve a vigilante that's punishing those who fail to pick up their dog's waste. Now, according to the sheriff's office, a woman in unincorporated Silverthorne called to report that an unknown man had been throwing bags of dog poop into her yard and onto her driveway over the past month. The woman was able to capture security footage of someone committing the act, also suspecting a neighbor as the culprit. Deputies reached out to the man that the woman listed as the suspect in the case, only to find that he did not match the description of the person in the surveillance video. Now, the investigation into the, quote, mysterious poop chucker might be continued in the woman's neighborhood, but no suspect could be identified. Now, during the investigation, however, several of the woman's neighbors noted that the woman involved is known for failing to pick up her dog's waste. One neighbor even noted that an unknown man in the area, quote, seems to be on a crusade against those who do not pick up after their dogs, suggesting that this person might be behind all the bags of poop ending up on the woman's property. The investigation into the situation is ongoing, with law enforcement letting the woman know, quote, she is likely being targeted due to not picking up after her dog.
Would you call this vigilante justice?
So they're actually picking it up. They're just throwing it on her property.
Exactly.
Which is worse,
I guess. Yeah.
It seems to be premeditated.
At least they are picking it up. There's that part.
Well, we're in a neighborhood where people walk their dogs, and there's one gentleman down on the corner who has 3 kids who occasionally walk our dogs, or there's good kids. And he actually got mad last summer about people not picking up their poop, and he sent his kids out and paid them basically $1 a bag to go out and pick up everyone's poop.
Damn.
And they wanted to help out the neighborhood.
What's he pay on the tooth fairy?
Yeah,
that's a low rate.
I thought it was,
I mean, $1 bag's not bad.
I don't know.
Literally takes a second.
Picking up crap.
I thought it was pretty cool of him to do that. And but occasionally we'll send a complaint to the
HOA.
To the HOA. Off of what he did last year it's ridiculous.
Now
we're told by the HOA people that there's an apartment complex in a connecting neighborhood that people choose to walk through our little area.
But if you put a leash on the dog, you put the dog bags in your pocket. They cost like less than a cent a piece.
We provide them in our neighborhood. There's
most
stands like that all over the
yeah.
place.
I mean, you pull 3 or 4 out to make sure you got enough, put them in your pocket. And
I see a lot of people like on the leash. They got the little thing hanging there that's got the bag dispenser. I'll have to say my neighborhood's pretty good about it. I see a lot of dogs walking, and I see almost everyone, if not everyone, with the little poop bags. And I assume if they're going to carry them, they're going to use them.
My Charlie is the most frustrating pooper on the walk. Angus refuses to walk, but he also waits until we get back into our yard before he never poops anywhere. Now he'll shoot blanks peeing all the time. I'm like, dude, there's nothing left in you. You've stopped at everything on this wall.
Every hydrant we've seen.
You're raising your leg going through that, but nobody's peeing anymore. But Charlie now, he's older now, but he will poop 3 different times. And I'm sort of like, I want you guys to poop 1 time and let's be done. But he's a 3 pooper now, and it drives me crazy.
So it's 3 bags every time?
Yeah, it drives me crazy because inevitably in my pocket I'll have 2 bags or 3, and Angus will go. I'll end up 1 bag short, and I'm always like, I'm usually half a round away from one of these stands. I have to walk and get that, and I'll let everybody in the neighborhood know I'm coming back. I'm coming back to get this.
In veterans,
but I'm out of bags.
I feel like I'm playing golf. I've had to mark the pile of shit before.
Yeah.
Like where I'll make sure that I see it coming back, because in all that grass you can't see it sometimes. I think both of y'all have sidewalks in your neighborhood, right?
Yes.
I will never ever live in a neighborhood again that doesn't have sidewalks.
Yeah, sidewalks are good to have.
Yeah, I just think developers are lazy. I know you're saving a little money, but it's just not the same community without the sidewalk.
Sidewalks are important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's what America was built on.
Sidewalks?
Yeah.
Never heard that.
It does.
Thomas Jefferson was
you
like,
guys
what
will
we
get
need
me.
here is sidewalks.
It makes a much better neighborhood.
I agree. I like sidewalks.
Yeah.
I don't think America was built on them, but I like them.
Yeah, I don't know if they were built on them, but I think America goes better with sidewalks.
Lewis
I
and
agree.
Clark would have loved sidewalks.
Man, I was thinking about that when I was in Hawaii last week.
Lewis and
Just some of
Clark?
the brush. Yeah, but just the explorers.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the shit they had to deal with coming
Oh,
in.
no doubt.
Like I would have turned around immediately. I know it was a long voyage,
Yeah.
but I ain't getting in that.
Who discovered Hawaii?
There's no roads.
Oh, I don't
Where do
know.
we go? Just cut right through there.
Yeah.
Native Hawaiians forever. I did watch this documentary. I got in Hawaii mode, so I watched The Descendants. We watched this thing called Waterman, and it was on this guy, Duke. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was the guy that ultimately brought surfing to the Olympics. But it took a full century for him to be able to do it. But he was one of the fastest swimmers, too. He was an Olympic swimmer because, you know, he grew up just swimming all these waters off the coast of Hawaii. So when you put him in a regular pool, he was just dominant.
Because you had to swim into the waves to get to where you were going to catch a wave.
Yeah, and you know, if you swam in an open ocean before, how difficult it is compared to a pool. But this guy was so talented, he could surf on his head. And he also, one of the things they started to do later in life is like the housewives that would come over to Hawaii, they loved to go with these surfers, and he would put chicks on his shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Like, that just seems like a difficult sport with the balance you've got to have. But to be able to do it on your head or have a chick on your shoulder.
I think I've seen black and white video of somebody doing that. Was he old enough to be black and white videos?
Yeah, so he died in 1968.
Okay, yeah.
He had a long, good life, but he's like one of the all-time hero pioneers of Hawaii. But it's a fascinating watch, Waterman.
I think I've seen two-shouldered surfing in black and white video.
Yeah,
back
Jeeves,
in the
if
day.
you can find just Duke from Hawaii surfing, you probably can pull that photo that Dunaway's talking about. Video.
What you have? First of all, you had who discovered Hawaii.
Yes, I've got Polynesians, likely from the Marquesas Islands, were the first to discover and settle the islands around 300 to 900 AD.
Thank you. If you would have told me the Tonga Baloas, I would have believed it.
Captain James Cook arrived, and he was the first European explorer to actually document it.
Uh-huh.
And
So
he
it doesn't
named
count
it-
until a European does
That's
it.
right,
Yeah.
until the white man.
And he named it the Sandwich Islands in honor of his sponsor, John Montague, the 4th Earl of Sandwich.
Oh, how about that? They had sponsors back then.
I honestly didn't think that food would be the number one thing coming out of Hawaii for me, but it was.
Just think of the things we used to do a long time ago. But this was my first time in New York to go through the Lincoln Tunnel. I'd never gone through it before. And I
is the Lincoln Tunnel different than the Holland Tunnel?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's two different
But the Lincoln Tunnel goes under the Hudson, right?
I believe.
1938
That's when they built it.
is when they built the Lincoln Tunnel.
You kind of want to know the maintenance records on that, don't you?
Yeah, but 1938.
Yeah, that's a long time
in
ago.
America, we
Yeah.
were. I mean, the technology, and that's what we built those kind of things in America.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, the trains that we had through the mountains, the Rocky Mountains that connect the East Coast, West Coast.
Oh,
We
a lot of
built-
people died to build those.
Yeah, we built
Yeah.
those things in America back in the
It
day.
took a lot of pride when we built those too.
We
way
did.
back
It was
in
a
the day.
hard-working group of people, ain't no doubt. But the people that built the Transcontinental Railway, there were a lot of deaths in that. I mean,
yeah,
there was a lot of
absolutely.
people came in Panama Canal.
Hey, there's Waterman. Look at. Okay, there's chick on shoulders.
That's pretty
iconic.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have even done the paddleboard. It's tough to get up in the waves on the paddleboard.
Yeah. I mean, I can't do a handstand right here in the studio, let
No.
alone on a surfboard.
Look at that
guy's got
dude.
some core
And you got
strength.
tiger sharks around you.
Yeah.
No, the tiger sharks aren't bothering him. They're like, that's a man. there.
I need him.
I did one of those posts with a bunch of different pictures from Hawaii because I didn't want to bombard people during the vacation. But one of the things in Target, went in there to get some sunblock. They had coming exclusively to Target Pizza Hut with Spam on it. That was
wow.
one of the major toppings. Spam is a big deal over
Yeah,
there.
it is.
So video has emerged of a man stealing a snake from a pet shop by stuffing it down his pants.
Oh.
Surveillance video from A to Z Pets in Portland, Oregon shows the thief lifting a $200 python out of its glass tank before putting it down his jeans.
Oh.
No, so this place called A to Z Pets, they've got a really good Oregon Pinot called A to Z. Like, is there something with the A to Z in the state of Oregon?
Don't know.
Like, did somebody discover the alphabet in Oregon?
Discover the
Well, I mean, I'm just like whoever came up with it. I don't know. Like, was there?
There's also an A to Z Auto Works.
Yeah, I think if I was going to go Jim or not, this is how I would answer our old game on AM 690. I would say Oregon is known as the A to Z state because of all the geology that you get there, from the farmlands, prairies, into the mountains, down to the ocean. It is
Autzen,
A to Z.
A and Z in there?
Yeah.
It is A to Z on all the land shapes in Oregon.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
I like that, Jim. That was good.
Now, after hearing the 2-foot-long black ball python was missing, the store owner spotted the man while reviewing CCTV footage. She told Fox News 6 that the operation might not have gone so smoothly if it had been on a Monday. Quote, he's very lucky it wasn't feeding day. Feeding days are on a Monday, and they're very hungry, she said.
Why did he spit them out? My balls was hot.
Okay, I didn't realize Morgan Wallen was on SNL this past week.
He was.
Not a big deal, but did you guys hear about the departure and the controversy that followed?
I can't believe it's controversy.
Yeah, he just walked off.
And people have made a big deal about it. I can't believe anybody's even talking about it, honestly.
So Morgan Wallen will not miss making an extra buck from his Saturday Night Live exit moment that went viral. Now the country star capitalizes on his "Get me to God's country" response after walking off the SNL set mid-credits and selling merch with the phrase. Wallen's website sells T-shirt and 2 trucker hat variations for $45 each. Each product features "Get me to God's country" phrase, which became a meme after Wallen shared it on his Instagram stories following his appearance on the NBC late night sketch show. Now, he was the musical guest at the end. You know, everybody typically hangs up there for the credits to roll. They shake, they hug, they do all that kind of stuff. But Wallen would later post a photo of on his private jet on Instagram with the caption, "Get me to God's country." I'm guessing this was all pre-planned, right?
Think? Probably. You think? Probably. They've already got the merch ready to go?
Yeah, I know. Firing that stuff off. It looks good, too. It doesn't look at all
it's
like
not
I
like
would
he
get it
needs
in
a buck.
Yeah, but who doesn't want to keep making bucks?
I mean, Brown said it yesterday. I mean, he is kind of the top country artist right now.
He is.
He is.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with God's country. I love God's country, and I think the South is God's country, and he wanted to get back there. I understand that. But it was 100% he knew what he's doing.
Hey, design me a hat we could get in a pilot flying J, if you do not mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's some
It's
tacky,
definitely like a
tacky
Love's
gear.
special.
Yeah,
right there.
Love's truck stop.
Yeah,
Or
you
give me
get a free like corn dog when you buy one of those.
32-ounce fountain drink, a corn dog, and a "Get me to God's country"
So
hat.
does Morgan have his own plane now, or is this one that SNL sends for him, or is it probably the record company?
Yeah, any of the above would be believable. I could believe he's got his own plane. Guy's got a ton of money.
The motto of Oregon, state motto, everything from A to Z. I'm lying.
Sky.
Her state motto is "She flies with her own wings." I think I like mine better.
I like everything A to Z. You never know what you're going to get. Pot luck.
That's right.
There's got to be something behind the A to Z, though.
It's got to be.
I couldn't find a single meaning for it.
It's got to be. All right, that is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And we are back tomorrow, including Furman on the show to talk about the Final Four. Taylor Korn on the show from the Alamo Dome tomorrow. We look forward to that. Make sure you're following everything at Next Round Live for continuous coverage of Auburn's trip back to the Final Four, brought to you by our friends at Culver's. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And we'll leave you with our final thought right here, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. They bring you the final hour every day here on the show. All 923 of them. Sterling is absolutely the best in the business, and the chicken is equally as good. He brines it overnight. He cooks it to order. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales and so much more. ChampysChicken.com, Highway 119, right there in Alabaster. Carmelo Anthony is in the Hall of Fame. Sonny Vaccaro, 85, is not. Should Sonny Vaccaro, the guy who signed Michael Jordan to Nike, when Nike got rid of him, he went to Adidas. He started a bunch of the shoe wars and things like that. Should Sonny Vaccaro be in the basketball
The movie
Hall of Fame?
Air is like the history of the shoe companies with college basketball, like for dummies.
Yep.
But that story is so deep and so many layers, and I mean, he was instrumental not only in the shoe business, but signing some of these
But don't
guys.
a lot of people blame him for creating the environment that was the underbelly of basketball recruiting?
With AAU and everything?
Yeah. Do you think that's
him
why
and
he's
George
not in
Raveling
it?
both?
Right.
But I think Raveling's in, right?
He started ABCD basketball camps for high schoolers, and Nike sponsored, then Adidas sponsored. He also was the pioneer of signing universities to specific labels, shoe deals.
I mean, just for him saying Michael Jordan can be the face of this and getting that one thing right. I mean, you named your daughter after a one-hit wonder in Harper Lee.
That's right. I mean, he deserves to be in there just for the Michael Jordan
He
part
does.
of it. Yeah, 85. Hopefully he gets in there before he dies. That's our show. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.